To do, turn off game capture, turn on second screen capture. Open a new tab.
Okay, hold the hell on, Twitch. Hold the hell, Twitch. If I'm signed into my account, and my account knows how old I am, why do I have to tell you how old I am to look at one of the featured broadcasters?
Star Trek Bridge Crew now available. Join the
Uh,
Oh
Starfleet and
yeah,
command
that's
the
the VR
bridge.
thing.
I was gonna say
Yes.
it is available. Apparently, it has cross-platform over all. It has cross-platform play over everything, including VR, which is smart because I don't there's probably not going to be a ton of activity on that,
Uh,
but people have been trying to play it all day, and because Uplay is a steaming pile of shit, they haven't. No, Twitch. I do not want to message my friend Sneaky Devil. I want to go to his fucking channel.
come for the lulls! Come for the pain!
I'm here because I have to moderate this damn thing.
Alright. I've linked my Twitch and my Twitter, so that's the only use my Twitter's been getting.
I, it's legitimate.
Alright, so this is a Fanfiction Tuesday, which means we will be touching on shit we've already seen. And let's see, let's do an audio test, and then I can be that.
I'm listening to
dumbass
the stream.
bitch.
We are all coming through loud
let's
and
see.
clear.
All right, yeah, no, YouTube's coming in clear. YouTube actually says my internet is fine for the first time in existence.
I was gonna say, which means Twitch is shitting itself.
No, Twitch isn't shitting itself either. It's a fucking miracle.
Okay, who did you kill? How many versions did you sacrifice?
Yes,
That's not the answer we wanted.
that's the answer you're getting. All right, so since everything
stop
is
asking internet, man.
golden and green, well, golden actually would be bad. Everything is green. Let's get to the intro. So, welcome to Fanfiction Theater 9001, where the pun is intended and you're gonna suffer with us.
Yay!
With us. No. I was about to say, no. They can leave. They can leave. We're trapped here.
Yes, we technically are trapped here against our will. Please send help.
Send help.
We take help in the form of donations of more fanfiction and cash prizes.
Cash prizes.
Alright.
We'll settle for food prizes at this point, guys.
As
Please
this
help.
is Fanfiction Tuesday, we will be covering fanfictions that we've previously covered on previous weeks. So if you hated the fanfictions we covered on previous weeks, you're gonna hate them now. And if you like them, you're gonna like them now, probably, or hate them now, as we've discovered with some of the stories we've continued reading.
Sometimes it's like, oh, this started out okay, only for us to realize this
only
is
started out okay.
This is
This
not
had
okay.
nothing going for it. Like that one Sword Art Online story.
is downhill.
Hey, Wag, you confuse me sometimes.
I'm
What
sorry,
do I
what?
do now?
I'm looking at the clearance sale they've got going right now, and I'm like, oh, I'll just do this by category. Computer systems! And there's a 3D printer. Guys, no, I want a computer,
That's
not
not
a 3D printer. It's technically a computer system, yes, but that's not what I was clicking on that for.
I suppose.
I was gonna say, I mean, me personally, I want a 3D printer, but that's because I want to find it. That's because I want to start illegally mass-producing money to pay off my student loans.
Oh, see, I was just gonna mass-produce guns and sell them.
And how are you going to be mass producing money? with a 3D
Max.
printer. What, are you gonna
Max.
be making fucking Canadian money and dipping it in
I
syrup?
was about to say, you're gonna fucking sell some Canadian dollar.
Hold on. Let me check the currency conversion rate.
It's not great, but it's better than most.
Let's check this. $1 to $1 Canadian dollar.
Alright, so we have,
Yeah, no. One US dollar equals 1.35 Canadian dollars. So I only have to print
Oh,
15,000
God.
Canadian dollars.
Canada, I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's nothing. You want to see something bad? The Australian dollar.
Oh, yeah?
That. Oh, wow, the Australian dollar is actually the same. Normally it's worse.
Cool.
Actually, wait, yeah. Good on
Anyway.
you, Australia.
So we have 3 choices today. We have the
Australian
Ryozan
dollar's doing
Getsu,
slightly better.
which we covered, like, at the start of the month. We have Ultra Bros, the probably self-insert villain.
That's right. You know what? Let's start with Ultra Bros and see where that goes.
I thought it was Ultra Boss.
No, it's Bros.
Bros.
Oh.
At first I thought it was Ultra Boss. He said Ultra
Yeah.
Boss, and I was like, I bet he means Ultra Boss, and this is some kind of Warhammer fanfiction.
Oh, God.
No.
Is this one of the cases of our brains trying to save us from stupidity?
And then we also have the Queen of Remnant, which we expressed passing interest in.
And
We
If
were
only-
hopeful.
if only because he's doing what he's doing. It's a very specific butterfly effect in that the situations attempt to align themselves correctly, but they still get fucked up because of the new personality that's present.
Yep.
And I appreciate the effort. It's very hard to do that kind of butterfly effect writing. Very difficult.
Yeah.
There- you
can do it.
Unfortunately, it's a story that also stopped updating like 7 months ago.
Yeah, sadly, I was very
Alright,
sad.
so
to learn.
since we're gonna be starting off with Ultra Bros, let me see if the chat system works. See if I can't blow it all out. Across all. So Restream is not sponsored by. Restream is offering a new service where it's called Restream Chat, in which it allows you to aggregate your chat, you personally to aggregate your chat, so you can respond to both. It appears I'm only getting a black screen though.
See,
The black screen of doom.
6. And this 3D printer might have been worth the money if it made something bigger than 6x6x6.
Alright, just give me a second. 1, 2 connected. It's not blocking anything specific. Is no. Is my ghosting? No. It's not working. All right. Well, that was an effort. An effort was made. And so.
We tried.
Yeah.
That is not the link I wanted to blast out.
Clearly, that's the link you wanted to blast out.
Uh-oh, did he link porn?
No.
What in the fuck is this?
Your mom.
How is this a laptop? What is this laptop?
Your mom.
No, really, look at this thing. Put this thing on screen. What the fuck is this? It looks like the Allspark was just shoved into it. And this was the result.
Oh, this I have got to see. What on earth? This is a laptop?
It is!
No, that is from Cybertron.
It's a backpack.
Oh, I mean, 1060, 7th gen. I mean, that's actually a pretty
Wait,
cool
it's a
laptop.
that's its own backpack.
Yeah, no, it's got straps.
I can't
My God,
tell
this is
if that's
amazing.
ingenious or nerdy as hell?
This is a really powerful laptop too. 16 gig RAM.
Where does it
It's
open?
an i7. Yeah, an
Oh yeah, no,
i7
it's an
5th gen
i7,
and
and
a GTX 1060.
like
Oh,
that's
it's
a
Windows
lot.
10. Well, never
Oh,
mind.
a newer version is available. It's about $100 more.
Why
Let's
is
see.
it
What's this?
$2,500?
Let's see. So what's different about this one?
Um,
Con.
it's got a
Your
one
battery
generation
life is
newer
60 minutes.
Intel.
My fan turned itself on again.
Oh,
Oh,
good.
I
It's
see. For
also
$100 more, you get a 7th gen i7 as opposed to a 6th gen i7.
Oh!
it also
What?
boasts
It
VR
doesn't come with a
compatibility.
screen, keyboard, or mouse. You have to plug that in.
That's not a laptop.
That's
That's
not a
a
laptop.
desktop.
That's a mobile desktop. Out
Yeah,
of
no.
stock? Why do you people buy this shit?
I cannot believe that we've
Okay.
now had to add the differentiation between we
I
have
just-
tablets, we have laptop tablets, actual fucking laptops, portable desktops, and desktops.
Can't forget the phablet, which is a fat phone like
I
tablet.
will say though, like the newer version of this thing actually sells itself as a backpack PC,
Okay,
not a laptop.
and that's accurate.
Why is the first one still a laptop?
I think it's stupid, but accurate.
Okay, so now that we've confirmed
Uh.
that fucking exists. Anyway. Alright, so, last time on Ultra Bros's Vision, Ichigo introduced himself to the, Yokai Academy after being sent there.
Oh god, this one. Yes, I remember this. I'm regretting we go through this one, but let's get this out of the way.
Where's the link for it?
It's literally everywhere.
I was gonna say, it's in the chat, it's in the recording chat.
I gotta go digging for it in the recording chat though. Oh look, Sneaky finally put it there.
It says you're in the chat of the fucking Twitch, so I don't know why you can't just click on that.
I don't like switching over to the Twitch chat while I'm trying to go through fucking links of stuff.
Oh, boo-hoo.
Oh, come on. Anyway, let's just get
Why
on
do
with
you
this
need a
train
backpack
wreck.
PC?
Because
Max,
some
stop
people
thinking about
are
it.
just
You know what? I'm just gonna go look at the 3D printers.
Just go print out a backpack PC.
I'm just gonna
Would
go find.
any of you like to ask
find one.
our new student any questions?
Oh, and a scanner. Maybe a scanner.
Shizuka looked around the entire classroom, but not a single student seemed interested. Things were so quiet, a fly buzzing through one of the opened windows was heard over everything else. She readjusted her glasses, looking to Ichigo. Readjusted is one word. Re is not a word.
Yeah, I mean, if you're artistically screaming, it is.
Yeah, I suppose, but it's still not a word. Why
Anyway.
don't you find somewhere to sit? There are plenty of open seats. Her smile brought warmth and comfort. I'm not exactly sure that's how I would describe it, but alright.
I was gonna say, plenty of open seat. I mean, is that accurate? Like, do they...
I mean, unless his fucking class just started dying left and right since I last read this fucking story, no.
Okay, good. Making sure I'm not crazy.
Sure, no problem. Forgetting the comma. Lifting his bag up over his shoulder, Ichigo took out a seat behind a student sitting in the first row. Second seat closes to the exit. He sat clear across the room from Sukune and company. Now that we've taken care of that class, forgetting the comma, we'll now begin. But before we... You don't have to have but there, so get rid of it. We would do but before we do, would anyone like to share what you did over summer break?
What? No school actually does that.
I
And
believe they
furthermore-
actually do that in the manga, though.
You know what? As the only Southerner in this group, I'm just gonna shut my mouth before I make South look even dumber.
Does your school
That's-
actually do that?
It's been known to happen.
What is wrong with you people?
You see, in New Jersey, we just plead the fifth and nobody asks.
In Chicago, we don't say nothing because you keep your mouth shut. It doesn't matter
Snitches
what
get
you
stitches.
did.
No, that explains it, actually.
What? Snitches get stitches?
No, you're both talking about Jersey and Chicago. This is the South. Our crime rate may not be the best in the Atlanta area, but we've still got hospitality, damn it.
Yeah, you'll say nice things to them while you mug them.
Hand over your money, please.
I think that would be the most surreal mugging
Excuse
ever.
me, sir, but I'm going to have to ask that you hand over your wallet.
Nice hat, by the way.
I want it. Please. Thank you kindly.
Meanwhile, in Chicago, hobo. Could I have some money, sir? I don't have any money. I have a knife. No thanks. I don't need a knife. Gets home
Take it
later.
anyway. Stabs
Gets
repetitively.
home later. Oh, he was trying to rob me, wasn't he? Ah, well.
Can I have some money? I'm a college student. Can I have some money?
I'm a college student. Oh, God, I feel so bad for you. Here's some money.
I'm
exactly.
not gonna lie, that would... I take it back. That would be the most surreal mugging I'd ever experience. That...
That made its way onto or that happened. Anyway, as I was saying.
Oh, do you mean the college student, that people broke into his house?
Yeah, that totally happened.
I mean, I don't know, man. Here's the problem.
Unless it was like fucking Canada. I could believe that in Canada.
Really, Canada. You don't think that there weren't some people out there who saw the kind of squalor a college student lived in and they were like, oh, I feel bad about this.
Not if they were fucking breaking into his house. Like I said, Canada.
Anyway, we're off topic because we don't want to keep reading this terrible thing.
Several hands rose as Shizuka called on them one after another. So you're just not... I hate it. This is just a personal thing of mine, but I hate it when people are like, alright, who wants to tell me what you... For using this as an example. Who wants to tell me what you did over the summer? She called on them all, and they all told her what they did over the summer. Well, why is that section even in there? You could have just cut that entire thing out, moved on to the next topic, and had a sentence in there after they finished telling the class what they've done over the summer. They moved on, and like you didn't have to have her ask the question and then say she's calling on people if you're not going to have any of them speak. Which...
Like,
I mean,
I understand what you're saying. The thing here is, it serves no purpose.
It serves a purpose in later paragraphs, which is, you know, not helping. Like,
I mean,
there's almost
they
completely
have
useless
wasted
paragraph. Yeah.
our time as a reader, because if you aren't going to tell us what they did over their summer break, even if it becomes relevant later, don't tell us that until it becomes relevant.
Like,
this isn't even a case of foreshadowing.
Like,
Because
see, the thing is here is he's like trying to set up romance now. By, like, you know, everyone's talking, Ichigo is checking out this one girl, and it's like, oh man, she's cute. Like, that's all he's using this section of the story for is people were talking, but Ichigo sat there and was like, oh man, I want to stick my dick in her.
Okay, I think Ichigo has a little bit more class. Not much, but a little bit more class than that.
Anyway. Setting his bag on the ground, Ichigo found it strange in surviving that his substitute badge had not alerted him of hollows. By the way Toshiro went on about the situation, he assumed there were to be at least over 30 of them within the realm. One of the students shared a story. Is it possible that maybe they're misdetecting this kind of shit?
Alright, you know what? That would be a funny twist.
Or alternatively, they're detecting all the monsters as hollows, or certain types of the monsters as hollows. Or maybe the fucking hollows died because it's a realm full of monsters.
No, it's not
Godzilla's
it.
here, and he's not happy.
Insert consider the following gif.
Consider the
That's
following,
just
they all
crazy.
died.
I need to add that as like a button on OBS. That I can
Listen,
just press and it just plays.
there's
the
a
GIF
lot
over
of
the
buttons
screen.
that this stream needs, Sneaky.
No, I realize I need a PewDiePie soundboard.
Yeah, no thanks. We don't need to be Heiling Hitler on this.
Did you know he's on the hate list now of Sweden?
Of course he...
He's on the Swedish hate list.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Ah, that's right. It's Tuesday. It's maintenance day for Steam.
One of the students shared a story with the class, and though Ichigo was able to hear, he paid no attention to what was actually being said, like the previous stories. From time to time, he could feel when someone had their eyes on him without looking, and in that moment he was certain someone did just that. He readjusted, again, that's one word, not two, looking over his shoulder. He slowly readjusted, looking over his shoulder. What the fuck does that even mean? He slowly readjusted, looking over his shoulder.
I mean,
So
I don't
he
know,
was looking
maybe-
over his shoulder and slowly readjusted the direction he was looking in?
Eh?
Like, I know what they're trying to say, but they
Yeah, I do too,
completely
but-
failed at saying it. Into a pair of dark lavender eyes that glared back at him. Her hair was of bright blue, similar to that of an ocean, tied in a purple bow tie, having a mysterious allure to her. Kurumu?
I don't know. I don't know anything about this.
She has
I
blue
know
hair,
nothing
right?
about this world.
Yeah, that's Garumo. Pretty sure. Bright blue and purple bow tie.
Yeah. No, yep. Lavender eyes, though, yeah, no, that's lavender.
Yeah, do you want me to go set it next to an RGB scale?
No, I'm looking at it. That's lavender.
Okay. By the way, quick aside, and I'm extremely disappointed in some of the Fire Emblem fans that are new to the series.
Oh,
Oh.
why?
They think that Echoes of Valencia is an actual new, not addition, but like a new chapter in the series, and are not aware that it's a remake of an
Okay.
older game.
Okay, no, hold on. I do want to say something. If they came in on, say, Awakening, or if they came in on Fates, or
Xenon.
hell, if they even came Xenon, or even if they came
Oh,
in
Xenon's here.
from Heroes, it's not like it. This is titled Fire Emblem Echoes: Shadows of Valentia. Now, maybe Echoes should be a little bit of a clue, but it's not
Oh,
like
well,
it's
Actually,
not like
it's
titled-
marketed as being a remake, so there's also that. You are aware of that, right? It's marketed as a remake. It retells the story in its entirety.
Yeah, I was gonna say most of what I've seen, I've seen quite a couple. I've seen a number of ads for it, and I don't remember hearing remake. I'm
I'm
not saying
probably
they
just
didn't.
used to
I'm
the
not
GameStop
saying they
pre-rolls at
didn't.
this point.
Probably.
It's fucking GameStop pre-rolls.
I was gonna say, see, I was gonna say, I've seen ads online. I haven't seen the GameStop pre-roll. So,
No, I've seen some of the ads online too, and like 3 different GameStop pre-rolls for the damn thing.
anyway, my point being, it's not like this is titled Fire Emblem Gaiden. You know,
No, it's not, but it's still annoying when, because
Okay, so
news for
why don't you
Warrior.
tell us what you find annoying about it? Like, what's so bad about fans thinking it's a new game?
People are trying to say we just got more info on Warriors, the Muso for Fire Emblem, and one of the things is that a lot of most of the main characters are going to be from the newest stuff and
Uh-huh.
from Shadow Dragon. So Awakening, Fates, and Shadow Dragon are going to have a heavy emphasis on at least the main characters. Don't know much other than that. And people are like,
Mhm.
why aren't they doing echoes? Because that's new. I'm like,
Mm.
no, well, no, that's not
Oh.
technically the new stuff. As
Okay.
Yeah.
as for their reason behind it, saying if we did all the main characters, it'd be but swords,
Okay,
and they
no.
want to make a
I
system
can
that's
see
a
where they're coming
triangle.
from, though, with that. If a company comes out with a remake of a game, bringing it up to spec with everything else.
I was gonna say, first of all, it is important to note, Gaiden has never been released in the West.
Yeah. So it's a game. A majority of people who aren't hardcore
I was gonna say,
haven't seen.
first off, bear in mind, Gaiden was released in '92.
Yes, way
So
way back.
I'm just saying, Gaiden's old.
So
It's very
not
old.
everyone's a weeb, and digs that far back into getting a game from Japan to
Oh,
play in America. Most people are only going to be. Oh, did the stream go down?
I don't think so. Let me check.
It says I'm off. Fuck off, Twitch.
No, Twitch tells me that you're streaming, and the stream is up, boy.
Yeah, it's telling me in the statistics section, oh, you're offline. Fuck off, Twitch. Fucking don't scare me with that bullshit. Yeah, it's telling me in the statistics section,
Yeah.
oh, you're offline.
Anyway,
that's great.
Fuck off, Twitch.
anyway,
You were saying.
As I was saying, it's understandable. A game that's never come out in a section of the world. And when it did come out in a section of the world, it came out before most of these fans are probably even fucking born.
I was gonna say,
So they
like,
can be excused for thinking
it
it's a new game.
Gaiden came out before I was born.
Yeah, and it's not even using a similar name. So they can be excused by thinking, oh, this is a new game. Because they've never seen it before. It came out before they were born.
Yeah, but my issue, Sneaky, is that in the age of information, a simple Google search usually reveals that it's also a remake. In fact,
yeah, but
what
if they've
does this
just
tell
bought
me?
the game and they're like, oh, this was cool, this was a fun game, and then they go, okay, oh, they're making a new one, and all the characters from previous new current games are gonna be in it. Oh, why isn't Echo characters in it?
Does
I'll say this, just Googling, not clicking on any links, just Googling Fire Emblem Echo Shadows of Valentia. There's a thing on Nintendo to learn more about it. The little blurb that pops up on the right side of Google. Fire Emblem Echo Shadows of Valentia, known as Fire Emblem Echoes, Another Hero King in Japan, is a tactical role-playing game developed by Intelligent Systems and published by Nintendo for the Nintendo 3DS handheld video game console in 2017. So if all they did was the Google search for Fire Emblem Echo Shadows of Valentia, and they clicked no links, they would not be informed that this is a remake.
Yeah.
okay. If they're not clicking links, I'm worried about them as a human.
Well, I
No,
mean,
gonna
that's
put that out
their
there.
population.
I mean, but why would they? But why would they, strictly speaking, click, like, why would they, like, there's a little
Well-
blurb on the right from Google, from Wikipedia, like,
Okay, so they're not going to be checking the
That's
Wikipedia at all. They're
happening.
not going to be like,
No,
oh,
probably
why
not.
isn't this game in the new one? And they're gonna go on forums and shit. They're gonna go on Reddit and shit and be like, oh my god, why is this game not there? What are they doing? What's going on?
Yeah.
That's how they're gonna get their information. No one's gonna go to fucking Wikipedia and be like, oh, gee, I wonder, is this a game remake? No one could be realistically expected to have that concept pop into their head.
Now, maybe if they were watching the Nintendo Direct, there's no excuse for them for not knowing that.
Yeah.
But
Not very few people do that who play Nintendo games.
yeah,
That's a very small base.
yeah, I'm aware. That's why I said, if they watched it.
But anyway, back to the story. It is in fact Kurumu glaring at him. Frozen for a few moments longer than they slowly looked away from each other. She is cut. Ichigo stopped himself from finishing his thought. What am I doing? He felt guilt creep upon him. No, he wouldn't.
Okay, hold on a minute. Based on the way this author's doing this, he said she's cut out loud. She's death glaring him. He's turned around looking at her, and he's just saying out loud, "Oh, she's cut."
Pretty sure that's supposed to be cute, by the way.
No, I mean,
It is.
I think
but,
that is
yeah,
supposed to be cute.
It is.
I don't.
I would just say I don't know the character. I thought he might have just been saying that she's really muscular.
No, she's not.
She is far from muscular.
See, that's why I didn't immediately assume it was an error.
Yeah.
Anyway, regardless, he's saying this out loud and then talking to himself.
Yes, he is indeed. What am I doing? He felt guilt creep upon him. I'm supposed to be eliminating hollows, not looking at pretty girls. Okay, well, Ichigo, from what I remember, like what did we figure out? This was like basically Rukia kidnap arc? Rukia execution arc? Like this is...
We don't know.
No, this has to be post-execution. This has to take place during the time when they went straight to Hueco Mundo. Except now we're expanding the time here between Aizen escaping them, actually trying to get to Aizen.
Which would be completely out of character. Oh, that's right. That's right. In the end, we came down to the decision that we wouldn't be able to figure out until he uses his power and gets into a fight.
Yeah.
Because
we need to see a lot more.
It would be absolutely 1,000% out of character for him to be like not giving his all into running after Aizen and going to Hueco Mundo, because that's what happened in canon.
Yeah, I think there was like a 1 or 2 week period where he went back home and the Arrancar attacked his town.
Yeah, and he still wouldn't have accepted a mission.
So I'm not really sure when this could have happened. I know, like I said, the Bleach anime it's one of those fillers that are generally ignored. Yeah. So, which is a shame. I really did love the Zanpakuto arc. That was fantastic.
I would say, like genuinely, that arc was one of the reasons I kept watching. I was like, this is fantastic.
It's a cool arc.
Even if it was...
I did like all the Arrancar stuff, though, the ranks and whatnot. And then we get to Yami, and it's like, actually, I'm not the weakest. What do you mean? I'm actually number 0. Oh, fuck.
Man.
And then proceeds to get stomped by Byakuya and Kenpachi, who aren't even paying attention to him, by the way. They killed him because they're trying to outdo each other.
Morgan is from... she's from a Capcom game.
Morgan is from Darkstalkers, a Capcom fighting game. Well, a Darkstalkers is what it's called. It was something else when it first released, but yes, she was the flagship girl for quite some time. Still is for a lot of fans.
Her boobs were the flagship girl.
Her boobs were indeed the flagship of Capcom.
It's actually good character design, though.
Max?
Based on what she is?
I'm just saying... Oh god. So Xenon read our Ruby fanfiction. Oh
Yes,
boy.
Xenon has
Leave a
indeed.
review for us, Xenon. Leave a
Yes,
review.
leave a review and tell them how shit it is.
Indeed. It is the shittiest of shit posts.
Anyway,
On with this.
yeah, so anyway,
You know what? You know what? I hope we get to Batman in this chapter.
You know what?
just
I'm
kill
gonna
me
go
now.
ahead and do you a favor. Let's just
One of the students, another
Control F.
student from the
No,
third row.
there is
was
no
called
mention
on.
of Batman or Bruce Wayne in the chapter itself.
Cool. Another
Damn
student
it!
from the third row was called on, sharing a little of what she did over the summer break. Ichigo tapped a finger over the desktop, dowsing deep into his own
Dowsing!
thoughts.
Dowsing?
I think they mean diving.
Either that or Ichigo. Let me be sure that I'm remembering the definition of dowsing correctly.
It is not dowsing.
I'm just saying. I wanted to be sure that I was remembering dowsing correctly. He's either pouring a liquid over himself or extinguishing a fire.
I don't think that's working now.
Or he could be lowering a sail quickly.
No, I don't think he's doing any of
I don't
those.
think he's doing any of those.
No.
Unless the desktop's on fire. That could be possible.
It's possible. It's always possible. Ichigo couldn't resist taking another look. With an elbow over the desktop, he slowly... It's not really a desktop. They're more like desks. Because that's all there is to them. From what I remember, they're the classic chair attached to desks.
I was going to say, listen, if this is a high school, if it's anything even remotely like a modern high school, it's a desk with a chair attached to it. Sometimes there's a rack under it for your books. It
might be a Japanese.
No. Even based on most of the animes I watch, where
you're right.
They're in a high school, like even in Bleach, it's the chair that's a desk. Sometimes it's a chair and a desk, but there's nowhere to store your books.
Yeah.
Like sometimes there's a rack under the chair, and if it's a fancy desk chair combo, there's a rack under the chair and there's a rack under the desk for no reason, because you're not in there long enough to need either of those.
You never use either of those.
Well, no. You know what? Let me rephrase that. The under the seat rack is great for putting your feet up.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, I slowly looked across the room into those same lavender eyes. This time she immediately looked away, acting as if she hadn't been looking his way. She was totally checking me out. Ichigo swallowed sharply, taking a deep breath. Who was she? What was her name?
Okay, hold on a minute.
Why
hold
he
on
wanted
a minute.
to answer such questions. Wow. Forced romance train! Choo-choo!
Not only that, even up until, like, the end of the Bleach series, Ichigo was 30 different kinds of oblivious about female attention.
Well, considering how hard he was to kick the shit out of, he was less 30 flavors of oblivious and more 30 layers of dense.
Fair enough, but my point remains.
Yeah.
It took how many seasons and how many people literally yelling, Orihime wants the D, for him to realize she wants the D.
Literally the entire thing, the whole thing ending, maybe?
Literally the entire thing.
Yeah.
Up until they do the prologue where he finally marries her.
Yeah. Indeed.
So, again, even if this takes place at the end of Bleach, because this isn't in the prologue, he's still
epilogue, but yeah,
dense. And you're right, epilogue. I didn't mean prologue.
I'm not.
Time travel
he's got it on for Orihime as well, sort of.
He does, but he never does anything about that.
Yeah.
Are we referring to Ichigo?
Yes.
No, we're referring to Rukia.
I'm sorry, I was out slightly trying to explain to someone. I apologize. Yeah, no, that was a weird romantic subplot that suddenly fell apart for some reason. Ichigo going after Rukia the way
I was gonna
he
say,
did.
and then they spot welded it back together, and it fell apart again.
No, they didn't spot weld it. They're just like, well, I guess I'm gonna have him start paying attention to Orihime.
I was gonna
And now
say,
they're married 10 years later. Okay, wow. Oh, their
what?
kid's
Oh,
adorable at least.
I mean, okay,
Oh
So,
yeah, that was the
kids.
question.
that was the epilogue
So,
chapter, by the way.
he's part hollow. Does that, and
No,
Orihime,
He's. Let's be real. At this point, he's a third Hollow, a third Soul Reaper, and a third Quincy.
yes, yeah.
what did it, he's half
Actually, no,
Quincy,
it's
half
quarters.
Shinigami,
It has to be
and the
quarters.
Hollow managed to
Fuse with his
fuck
Shinigami or
with
whatever.
his soul. Yeah,
No,
it
like that's the
interfered
thing though.
in its actual
Technically speaking, his soul has to be split into quarters because it's Shinigami, Hollow, Quincy, human.
Oh. No,
Even if
no,
some
no.
of those parts
The
get
human, the
combined-
human aspect is
Quincy's are
recessive.
still Quincy
Yeah, you're right,
are
you're
still
right.
human, by the way.
You're right. I know
So-
Quincy's are humans.
So,
I
but
am
no,
aware of
it is being recessive. So if you're Quincy, you're just Quincy. You're not. There's no
Right.
human part of your soul.
Yeah,
You're all
yeah.
Quincy.
You are correct.
You're still
No,
not sure
they're
you-
still not Max. I'm not saying they're not human. I'm just saying their soul is 100% Quincy in that it reacts to everything like a Quincy soul. Being the kid of a Quincy makes your soul Quincy. And it has special reactions that normal human souls do not have.
Like being
Okay,
able to
yeah.
see hollows, etc.,
Yeah.
etc., etc.
So there would be no human part of his soul because the human part of his soul is Quincy.
Oh, fucking Bleach. Just
Bleach!
Just
When
watch it for the
there's
fight
a
scene.
boss we can't beat, we just invent a new power for the main character.
just watch
yes.
the fight scene.
Also, I was gonna say, there is, what probably the biggest shame about Ichigo and Rukia falling apart as a couple is?
Nothing?
Exactly.
There was they were never a couple to begin with.
I know. Falling apart is a romantic interest. Whatever.
Totally shipping Ichigo and whatever the fuck her face was. The runt. The loudmouth runt.
It's
Wait, what?
Did it start with an H or an M?
I don't fucking know, man.
What are y'all talking about?
One of the visored.
Yeah.
Oh, that little creeper.
What was her name?
I mean, I just
The
refer to
amount
her
of
as a-
shits none of us give to
Hiyori.
remember her name. Yeah,
her
Hiyori.
name is
Yeah.
Hiyori.
it.
Thank
I was
you,
gonna say,
Wiki.
I just referred to her as Lollybait.
She is quite lollybait.
She was such a bitch.
Oh, massively. I was like, listen, at least Rukia, with Rukia, I can understand why he would want that. Oh, she saved my life. She helped me save my family. I owe her a big debt. Okay, these are character motivations I can understand.
Yeah.
Orihime, she's my childhood friend. She's also helped me save my family.
No, you know who was a great visor though?
Shinji?
Her name was Mashiro Kuna.
Oh, yes.
She was the one dressed like a Sentai Ranger. She
Yes.
was great.
Yeah.
She's a
Oh.
great character.
I was gonna say, wait, was that the one always reading like porn novels or whatever?
No, that was a male. No, that was
Mashiro
No,
was
was
the
it-
one that referred to herself
that
in third
was,
person and acted like a Power Ranger.
Oh,
Was-
right. She
I'm-
was, I
I'm
mean,
just opening
interesting.
all of them. Oh yeah, Hachigen. Oh, he was a great guy. He was the barrier specialist.
He was
Oh,
so
that's
great
right.
that I completely forgot all about him. Anyway, moving on.
And didn't care in the
Though
slightest.
throughout his years of attending school in the human world, he had come across various beautiful girls, but none had the same immediate impact as her. Kurumu felt something come into contact with her back, looking down to see a crumpled piece of paper. Isn't she, like, behind him?
I thought.
What was that for? She frowned. So she exclaimed this out loud?
I don't fucking know, man.
She
This
frowned,
author's
looking
terrible.
back at Mizor, the new guy. You've taken a liking to him, haven't you? Don't deny it. Don't deny it. I had my eyes. Commas, motherfucker.
Okay, hold on. Where are we? I stopped caring.
Mizor is talking. It's just the lack of comma fucked me up when I was trying to read it.
Yeah.
Now you know how I feel.
Fuck off. I had my eyes on you the whole time, but if you ask me, I think he's a bit scary looking. Scary looking, Mocha leaned towards Mizor. Who are you talking about? Is this a harem? Or is it only Ichigo times Mocha? I guess it's only Ichigo times Mocha? Is this a harem steal? Does he steal the harem from Sukune?
I mean, hey, at least it would
Maybe?
at least it would be something new.
It would be something new. He is not. There is no other guy that interests me outside of Sukune, so you can think whatever you want. Karumu snapped, closing her eyes and facing the opposite direction with crossed arms. Mocha still had no idea who they referred to feeling left out. Again with the awkward fucking sentencing.
Yeah.
Please tell me, I want to know. She
Commas.
Dialogue. New paragraph. She inquired with eyes similar to that of a puppy. Kurumu-chan, no.
Still doing that odd formatting on the,
Yeah. Have a crush on the new
Owner.
guy, but I don't know why. He looks menacing.
I know we say this all the time, but you know what? It's been several episodes since we've gone on a rant about this, so we're gonna. Sneaky, we need an old rant. We need an old rant.
I'm moving the fuck
Don't
on.
put the fucking honorifics in when you've had everyone speaking English. It's stupid. Rant finish.
Well, I mean, it's not even that. It's when speaking in English, like, use them or don't use them. They all refer to themselves as Chan, Kun, Mizor, Kurumu. Doesn't refer to Sukune as Sukune. She refers to him as Koi. As in husband. That's how she talks about Sukune.
If you're going to commit, if you're going to use honorifics and stuff like that, you have to commit to it. You cannot do this weird
stupid and annoying
bullshit. Exactly.
Because here's the thing. At best, you're a lazy piece of shit. At worst, you're a freaking sad weeb who desperately wants to be part of Japan.
Well, it's not even that. Like, I've seen stories go full. Like, everything was properly honorific.
But see, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not talking about that.
It's this bullshit of like, oh, I think the Chan's supposed to go in here. Like, they know enough that they know that people refer to each other with Chan and San and shit, but they don't know enough on how to use it or how to write it. Which is pathetic, because if you've seen it used, you know how to write it.
Yep.
And even if you don't, there's a magical tool called Google, and there's a magical tool called YouTube, and I am sure that...
I mean, unless you've only ever watched animes, and you've never in your life looked at a book, or a manga, or anything translated from Japanese. What the fuck are you doing writing fanfiction? Using Japanese honorifics if you've never seen them used. Because the only way you would have seen Japanese honorifics used if you're only watching the anime. Because they use the honorifics in the translations for mangas and light novels. Most of the time.
Yeah.
So, If you don't know how to write them, that means you're probably just watching the anime dubbed.
And
But
even then, that depends on the anime, because some anime keep those honorifics
yeah,
in
well, I mean,
English, and
that's what I'm
they
saying though.
commit
Is
to it.
you've probably only watched anime dubbed, and they've used them verbally. Like there wouldn't be any text popping up if it was a
Yeah.
sub showing how it's used. So you've probably watched an anime like once that had them say chan or san at one point, and you thought that was like a separate word then or something. But that still baffles me because when I was writing something back in an RP that had Japanese themes going on, I looked up how the fuck do I use the honorifics before I wrote it, so I wouldn't look like a fucking dumbass.
Because just that, if you don't include them, even if it's something like, like, what'd you say? It was a Japanese themed RP, Sneaky?
Yeah.
Here's
Well,
the thing,
it was
even
an
if they're
RP that had a Japanese theme going on during that RP.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
It was for that specific one. But here's the thing. If you don't use it, people will either assume that they'll assume you either don't know or you don't want to bother, and both of those are fine.
Yeah.
You're not going to ruin anyone's immersion by not including them.
I mean, you might, but, you know.
Yeah,
Fuck 'em.
small change. And here's the thing. If you use it, and you use it wrong, that's when you look stupid.
Yeah.
Like you do right now, author.
Like, this shows you literally put zero research in. Actually, literal use of the word literally, zero research in. Because if you had put a single second into even typing the word chan or san into Google, you would have come up with the dash. The dash would have been displayed.
Like, that's what's baffling to it. You don't even have the dash.
Like, zero effort into even trying to figure out how to write it. You heard it once and we're like, chan, done, new word. Yeah, obviously using Western names is preferable if you're Western because you're more used to Western names. Just like Japanese people prefer to use Japanese names unless they use Chinese names because they're fucking assholes. Soy-fan!
That's beside the point right now.
No, I'm mistaken on this.
Oh no, I'm not saying I disagree. I'm saying it's beside the point for the moment.
Oh, fucking Japan, stop taking every other language. It gets confusing.
Okay. Hold up. We speak English. English takes other languages into back alleys and mugs them for loose words, guys.
Hey, that's a nice word you have there.
You
Please,
are
no,
aware that,
No.
and you are aware that that's been changing very as far back as like 20 years, right? Like, you got to the point where English could keep making its own damn words up as it went. Other languages have had to start borrowing from English.
Oh yeah, but that
For
doesn't
quite some
that doesn't change how English originally did.
Yeah, I was gonna say that doesn't change the fact that at its origination, like past 20 years aside, Max, for the even if we only take the quote unquote modern English, the Sneaky 300 years
I mean,
that quote unquote modern English has been spoken.
so
I would
at what point
actually
do
put
I
it in
point
the
out
past
that
60.
it's still a Latin-based language, and most of those borrowings are just from the base language? When do I point that out?
You can point that out right now.
During any
Cool.
time that you feel like, because we're not going to pay attention and continue moving on with the story.
Do we really want to move on with this story? 'Cause it's
I want to
actually-
get this chapter fucking done so we can go back to the good shit like Queen of Remnant.
Fine, just go. Unless something's really egregious, we're not stopping anymore.
This
Yeah, no, that's fair.
means you shouldn't say things like that. That is, that is mean you shouldn't... Again, the comma is fucking me up when... The lack of comma is fucking me up when I'm reading this. Yes, the Japanese did in fact borrow words from the Dutch.
Oh. Gee, authors just pain me sometimes.
Xenon just reminded me of the history of Japan. The Dutch had a unique trade agreement with Japan. Wow, Japan's probably going to economically become stable. Knock, knock, says the U.S. We have ships.
Open up,
guns.
says the U.S.
Open up.
God.
We don't want to open up. My canon says you want to open up.
Oh. Portugal has control of the spice trade. We want it too, says the Dutch. And the Dutch proceeded to steal the spice trade somehow.
Wait, did we just get robbed by the Dutch?
Oh, the fucking Dutch.
Alright, anyway.
Ha, here we go. Don't say things like that. Look directly at Ichigo and then back at Mizore. I see nothing wrong. He looks fine from what I can tell. Mizore grinned, drifting back. Just my luck. I'll have Sukune to myself now that the competition has dropped by half. That isn't what I meant, and you know it, Mocha shouted. The entire class went silent, focusing squarely on Mocha. Her cheeks went red, lowering her chin over the desk to try and... Lowering her chin over the desk to try and hide herself from all the attention. So she's laying on the desk now to try and hide?
Say, here's the thing. You ever use one of those desks, you don't just put your, unless you're like 7 feet tall, you're not just putting your chin, you're gonna have to flop at least your stomach up over that desk to hide over the top of it, guy.
I don't think the author is aware of the definition of the word hide.
Or desk.
Indeed. Miss Akashia? Akashia?
I think there's actually a completely different pronunciation for it. So
Well,
I'm not even.
fuck
I don't
Japan,
even remember.
Surely you
even
know... Missing the fucking comma! Surely you know better than to talk during when another of your fellow students is speaking.
What?
Ow!
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Again with this sentence structure!
First of all,
Surely you know better than to talk over one of your fellow students. Is what every teacher says. Not surely you know better than to talk during when another of your fellow students is speaking. Beep boop,
Well,
I am robot.
Beep boop, I am human.
Oh.
Not only that, let's leave that aside for a minute. First of all,
The teacher is not that eloquent.
and second of all, the teacher doesn't care. Okay,
Yeah.
this is a high school teacher. This is a high school teacher.
I know that I've. She cares, but she's a bit airheaded. But she cares.
Okay, but she's okay. So she
I
cares.
would thank meme. Indeed, Xenon.
But she's airheaded. Is she airheaded and bubbly, sneaky?
Yes.
Then it would be something like, it wouldn't even be formal. It would be like, you know, you're not supposed to talk over other students or something like that, or it's rude to talk over other people. Like,
Yeah.
casual.
Not this beep boop. I don't know how to write dialogue. Beep boop. I am ribbit.
You're ribbit. Huh?
I am ribbit.
I
Great.
am ribbit.
Great. Now
Ribby
the
Ray.
frogs. Now the amphibians have learned to make robots at, and we're fucked.
Yep. It's a robotic
Oh, no.
ribbit.
No. I didn't develop it in time. My tadpole-based EMP delivery system. We're doomed, Max!
Tadpole-based EMP delivery.
This, wow.
What? Get the fuck out of here with your Metal Gear level bullshit.
You just talked about frog robots. I don't want to hear it.
Metal Pepe.
Alright, Atin, we're going to be sitting down and ironing that out for a game concept. I will talk it over, try and get you a 30% profit cut.
I'll take 70. Thank you.
You're not
You
taking
had nothing
shit.
to do with this.
Yeah, tell you what, Sneaky, you'll get a mention and a check for $300.
Cool. That's more money than I'll currently have.
Make an entire game around that.
Oh boy.
Stream's over. We have to go we have to go plan out our get rich quick
We-
scheme.
And in all seriousness, we could make that a plot twist for the visual novel you and I have been talking about.
Oh, that would be Max. That would be utterly stupid.
I know, that's why it'll
Why
be a
are my
gag ending.
nanobots not working? Aha! My tadpole-based EMP devices have taken out your nanobots.
That's why you set your secret base in a swamp. Genius.
Oh my god. A tadpole that surpassed Nano. I don't even know anymore.
A tadpole to surpass the
nanobots.
nanobots.
Duh.
Shit. I'm done. I'm gonna go look at cool swords.
Oh no, you don't. You're still trapped on this crazy train, boy.
So we're like halfway done. So let's keep going.
Yeah.
Alright, okay, I'll try. And also, so I do need to complete this electronic sword.
She was silent for several moments before. What? She was silent for several moments, looking around at all students. Yes, and it won't happen again. I am very sorry, everyone, she replied innocently. The students that had previously shared details of her summer, the student of her summer continued from where she left off. During that time, Sukune uncovered a notebook from his bag, displaying notes he had taken throughout the last semester.
Wait, uncovered a notebook he had taken from his bag.
Displaying notes. This is just... Again, I think they hit their fucking story with a thesaurus and, didn't check to see if it was legible afterwards.
Not only that, it's a new semester. Why on earth are you bringing notes from last semester in?
Don't you know school? Notes don't matter anymore.
Unless you're in, math? That doesn't matter anymore.
And even that's questionable.
Yeah.
Because they're just going to go over the subject again. And again. And again. And we wonder why the kids are so dumb.
No, none of us wonder that. It's the stupid people who wonder that.
Indeed. For the next hour... Wait, what? For the next hour, Shizuko Nekonome went over the basics of what to expect while taking the class. Homeroom?
I was gonna say, first of all, how the hell long is their homeroom period? Listen, the Japanese schooling
as far
system...
as I remember, Max, she was a homeroom teacher. And she ran the newspaper club. Did she also teach English?
I think she taught. I think she was the English teacher as well.
Yeah.
I'm doing a check.
I think she was the English teacher.
But I was gonna say,
Oh, mate,
but
fuck
listen,
off, Google. This
they were
fandom
in there.
is fucking lewd.
I'm sure it is.
No,
Anyway.
I'm sorry. I'm typing in Rosario Vampire Nekonome. Starts auto-completing. Third result, lemon. Nekonome lemon. Google, no, you should not be learning this.
I mean, it explains so much about the AIs that Microsoft has made.
Looks like she's just the homeroom teacher.
Okay, I was
And
gonna say,
the
listen,
news club.
even
advisor.
leaving aside if she also taught English, it's the first class of the day, so they're going to be there for homeroom. because that's what happens in Japan. They have homeroom. Why? I don't know, but they do.
No. Yeah, they do. I mean,
Yeah.
And
American high
correct me if I'm wrong,
schools
but
do that
homeroom
as
is
well.
supposed.
Well, I mean,
No, they
homeroom's
don't.
like normally a 10-15 minute thing
What
in
the
American high
fuck
school.
are you on about? And homeroom is the 10 to 15 minute period that goes with the announcements.
Yeah, get your shit
What?
together. Hello,
What the fuck
Sal
is wrong with
Propero.
Chicago?
Listen here. Listen here. In Chicago, you just went to your. Oh, it's 8 o'clock. You better have your ass in your first class.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
no. We
no.
we actually had like a time where everyone's like, yeah, my school, at least my school, was like, yeah, so everyone lives at least 45 minutes away from here, so sometimes we gotta give them extra time to collect the
No,
pigs
like,
and drive to school.
at high schools and middle schools here, we had a homeroom period, and sometimes in
I
high
had a
school, your
homeroom in
homeroom,
middle school.
your homeroom might be the first classroom you're in, or you have homeroom and then you got to run across the rest of the fucking school to get to your first period.
It was always the second one for New Jersey.
I was gonna say, look, in Chicago, it's 8 o'clock. Your ass better be in class. The end.
Like, I'm pretty sure they scheduled the classes for everyone to make sure at all times they were running across the entire school to get in between classes.
No, listen, that's just high school, man.
Good.
Oh, hey, you have class in one of the computer labs that's at the back of the building, that's at the back of the
Yeah.
main building? Cool, we're gonna give you gym next. Gotta get, that way you can get a warm-up run in before you even get to the locker room.
Fucking better get there quick!
Fuck you!
I lucked out in high school, and I just took a summer course for my physical education, and it was just basic biology. Again, I filled out packets, and that was
Hold
it.
on,
And that
I'm
counted
sorry.
for my
What?
physical education.
What?
I filled out packets for a
Go.
summer, and that counted for my
Fuck
phys ed.
yourself.
Whatever.
Fuck
Moving
yourself. My fucking high school, it was like, hey, we're gonna ride bikes on the prairie path.
on. Wow, you guys had a prairie path? You guys had bikes?
Oh, you had to bring your own bike.
Oh, we no, we don't. No.
You didn't have a bike. You didn't have a bike? Then you were set to an elliptical.
Yeah, no, we didn't have
Wow.
ellipticals either. We had a room.
No, Sneaky. I don't think you understand. This was not some new fancy. This was like a fourth-hand elliptical.
Yeah, I don't
This
think
thing-
you understand how
This
little
thing
money
would
we
give you
had.
tetanus looking at it.
My school sold grass for books. And those books were 19 years old.
Thank God I wasn't in Jersey. Anyway,
The level of poor New Jersey schools were at.
yeah. Also, and then my junior year, I couldn't take anything. I couldn't take a physical education course during the summer because that summer I took biology.
Right, so
That
anyway,
was
fuck your
hell.
summer classes, let's get back to this and move the
Yeah.
fuck on.
Look, the point is, the author, in addition to not understanding the Oxford, just any comma, not just the Oxford comma, in addition to not understanding any comma,
Or how words
They-
work, or how sentences
do
work,
not
or how
understand.
people talk.
they do not understand any schooling system, it appears. Because it doesn't matter if you're using English, Japanese, or Chicago. It's all wrong!
It's all wrong. Anyway. And remember, never to reveal your identity hidden beneath your human form, okay? Missing more commas. Everyone nodded, continuing to listen. Soon after missing more commas after the bell rung, commas dismissing them from the first class of the day. If anyone is unaware, you're supposed to report to the theater for the opening assembly.
No, That is not how a school announcement is made. That is not how that works.
First off,
Welcome to Japanese high schools.
No.
I don't know.
No.
I don't know how. No. I'm not talking about the announcements part. I don't know where this person went. But if we had some sort of assembly we needed to go to before we get to classes and shit, they did that before homeroom. In my school, like the 3 times we had it happen, it was before the day even started. Everyone was just directed into the assembly room.
The only time we had assembly, like, we had every Wednesday we had chapel, and everyone knew to go to that because it was a scheduled thing every week. And whenever we had, like, a pep rally or whatever, it was announced in the first class of the day, and then when the bell rang, someone came over the intercom and said, "Go to the pep rally. We will be looking for the people who don't."
Fair enough. Yep. But so anyway, I don't know. Again, I feel like they're not staying true to any form of Japanese schooling. But I'm not too aware of Japanese schooling, so.
But like I mean, this. In case anyone is unaware, you're supposed to. That's not how the announcement would be made. The announcement would be made: all students go to the assembly hall, or please go to the assembly hall.
If it's an all students announcement, I would expect it to go over the loudspeaker.
Like, that's the thing. It's gonna go over a loudspeaker, and it's gonna be
like her class, then yeah, I would expect the teacher to tell them. But if it's it's a this grade or this everyone go here, it's going over the loudspeaker.
It's probably different from school to school.
What is this nonsense? Afterward, most of you will go to your next class while others of you will report to the cafeteria for your lunch period? Your lunch period. They have had one class.
Yeah,
one class.
Not only that, I'm really confused as to why she's telling them their schedule when they should be, having some form of schedule being given to them. As far as I remember, this is not a thing that has occurred in canon.
Well, that and this guy is officially shitting on the school system, no matter what country it is, because from my many hours in Persona 4 and 5, bits and pieces of P3, and a number of slice of life mangas and light novels I've read, they don't change classes. The teachers change between periods. They don't go to different classrooms. Except for extracurricular activities, which is after school.
Yeah.
Lunch period, you can go to the cafeteria, but a number of students will stay in the classroom with their own lunch they brought from home.
Since you're in that classroom all day, that's where all your friends are going to be.
Yeah.
Well, most likely.
Because they're known as, Class 2A.
Exactly.
Or Class 3B, or whatever.
Yeah.
And even leaving that aside, let's say they don't understand, since clearly, they didn't understand how Japanese honorifics work, maybe they don't understand how the Japanese school system works.
Well, it's just further proof that they put zero effort into this.
No, I was going to say, maybe they're operating off the English model. The American model, where the students would leave.
The problem with that is, if they're operating off the American model, then Ichigo shouldn't be in the classroom. Because classes in America are segregated by grade.
Yeah.
So either Ichigo is in this class with other people who aren't in his grade, or...
Ichigo should still be a freshman.
Yeah, so if Ichigo's a freshman, and Sukune is a sophomore...
This is third year.
Or third year, or whatever. Whatever year Sukune's in.
They would not be... It's not year one.
Yeah, it's not year one at minimum. They would be in different classrooms if he's going by the English. If he's trying to force Ichigo into Sukune's class...
Hell, even if it's going by the Japanese model, he still wouldn't be in there.
No. I do believe Japanese classrooms are varying grades.
How the hell do you teach anything then?
I don't know. I don't know. But
Like, that would make no sense.
I
But
honestly,
whatever.
I don't fucking know, dude. I have no fucking idea how
Yeah,
Japanese
anyway.
classrooms work. But either way, he's fucking wrong.
Yeah.
Either system he's trying to mimic, he's wrong, regardless.
We don't know if we're right, but we do know you're wrong.
Ichigo had his eyes glued to substitute badge, malfunction. Certainly at least one hollow should have shown by the time he was been around. Why would you assume that? They're pretty fucking good at hiding inside a town.
I mean, just say, not only that, it's an entire world.
Technically, yeah.
Like
I mean, it's a small dimension. It's a small dimension that the Yokai High School is located in. Because it's specifically you get to it through the tunnel.
Okay, fair enough. It's a pocket dimension, but even still.
But the thing there, though, is he is in a pocket dimension. This is a world. So there's a world. There's Sukune's world, with a pocket dimension branching off of it containing Yokai Academy. This is a world separate from Ichigo's world. The portal that connected the two, the Hollow went through. So the Hollow are in Sukune's world, not this specific dimension attached to it. That would be like, oh, they escaped to Ichigo's world. I am in the Soul Society. Why is the Hollow badge not going off? Oh, maybe because they're not in the fucking Soul Society section of the world. You know, maybe they're in one of the other dimensions of this world. You know?
Yeah.
So if they think... I'm not sure how exactly they were like, oh, it's specifically this school. That's the one thing that's confusing me. Like, how do they know specifically it was this school they escaped to? Because if it wasn't the school they escaped to, the fucking headmaster, one of the 3 strongest beings in existence, probably would have figured that out.
I'm reading back to chapter 1, where the guy talks about how the Hollows escaped into 2 different worlds.
Yeah.
I don't think he understands that Yokai Academy itself is completely cut off from the rest of that world. So those Hollows have a good chance of having gotten out of that little dimensional barrier into Sukune's world. So now they technically have 3 different dimensions to go through.
I mean, it's not even that. Like...
I was gonna say, because here's one of the big problems with this. Right now, you have you've got parallel dimensions. You've got Ichigo Land and you've got Sukune Land.
Sure. And
Ichigo Land has opened a direct tunnel into the pocket dimension inside Sukune Land.
Because didn't the bus driver pick him up? Going through, like, how did he appear in... Because it said he went through a vortex. Which
hold on. Let me go back and look at it.
Yeah. Because he was talking about the vortex, so, like, did they generate a portal for him to go
Hold on,
through?
okay, he exits the window, 3rd year... Sukune, blah blah blah. Sukune bus stopping.
We're already an hour and a half into the stream.
Yeah, I know. We're angry. Okay, no, you are correct. The bus is going in there.
Yeah, so the place they detected the Hollows exiting out into was Sukune's world. Because they wouldn't need the bus to get into the dimension that they detected the Hollows escaping into. You know? Like, they wouldn't be able to get to Sukune's world if that wasn't where the portal went to. they would be going through a portal into the side dimension that the Yokai Academy exists in, if that's where the Hollows escaped to. Because that's where the portal went to if the Hollows escaped to there. But no, he appeared in Sukune's world.
No, we don't know that. Because the first time that we hear about Ichigo in here, he's already in the class. Like, Sukune takes the bus. Sukune takes the bus. Everyone else takes the bus. But Ichigo's just in the classroom. So maybe he took a bus, maybe he didn't.
Okay, maybe he did.
Either way, the author's an idiot.
Yeah, the headmaster would know about it. So, I'm a bit confused. Like, the whole reason why the headmaster used Sukune to take care of all the student problems in his school was because if the headmaster's going around kicking the shit out of kids, it's not exactly going to solve anything.
Hey, stop bullying students! Headmaster beats the hell out of you. Oh, you have to get the headmaster for help. You're just weak.
Yeah. So.
That's not going to solve his problem. That's going to get him beat up more. Just when the headmaster isn't watching.
Flyers for the dance, passing individuals, wrist was grabbed, don't recall seeing you around, you're not a freshman, Kurosaki. First year,
wait, this is good. He's not a freshman. Yep. Okay, we've established that, but that's information that we should have had a heck of a lot earlier.
Around her neck was a string of pearls, combination dress, I'm Ruby, would you like a flyer? You won't regret it. Again, the dialogue in the same fucking paragraph.
It's not how you do that.
He stopped in a place, looked at his shoulder, sorry, that sort of stuff isn't my style, thanks for the offer. Groaning, students pass, taking the flyers, both hands in pockets, finding a place. What is wrong with this thing? What is wrong with what? Looking up, Ichigo, bit down his tongue, watching as she took a seat next to him, same girl. Don't be shy, came to introduce myself. Question, so what's your name? Feel I'm stuttering. Why am I nervous? This isn't like me. Kurumu.
It's almost like someone's writing him improperly.
Kurumu's her first name, right? Yeah.
I believe so.
Because he's writing Ichigo's name as Ichigo Kurosaki. Wait, right? There's right. Kurosaki. No, he did. Okay, so he did do last name first. Okay.
Okay.
I was about to say, is he fucking up how their names go now?
I think he is.
One of the main entrances. Mocha entered. Announcing the others when they're not arrived. Security locked over. Spotting one of them. Forget about them. We'll find someplace to sit. Pull them over here. Great view of what happens on stage. Mocha-san. Really? Instead of replying, she brought her lips to his. They're making out. Close his eyes. Oh, they're not making out. She's eating his neck. Mizor peeked her head in between the two of them. Conversation between Kurumu. So this is where you put a line break in, or indicate the scene is shifting, because it sounds like they're all sitting in a group talking to each other specifically, like line break, scene change. Conversation ensued. Most talking while he gave one-word answers. It annoyed her more. She led on. The academy taken to being used to. After a week, I'm sure you're right. Certain cockiness that drew her in, but his disinterest in talking with her became more irritating the longer she spoke to him. Since you're new here, I'm guessing you haven't made any friends. Uncertain when it'll start back up, but there's a thing called the newspaper club. What's that supposed to be?
Well, okay, hold on a minute. There's a thing called the newspaper club. What's that supposed to be?
Yeah.
He's his high school student. He attends a high school. Yeah. Even if he's never been to a newspaper club, he should have a vague inkling of what the hell a newspaper club is.
Yeah. Have a good time, decide to join. A bunch of new friends. So what do you say? Cross her fingers. Silent. She waited. Don't think of me as a bad person, but I'm not interested in making friends. Ichigo. Not interested in making friends.
Like, nah, he's not exactly a social butterfly, but unless he's literally in the middle of a fight, and sometimes even then, it's not like he's Mr. Tall, Dark, and Brooding.
That's the joke about Ichigo, is that he looks tall, dark, broody, and thuggish, but he's actually a really nice guy. Like, if you've seen Bleach, you would have known that, because that's referenced several times as a joke. It is what we call a reoccurring joke.
It's a running gag. I was gonna say, like, isn't that one of the things that Rukia, like, insults and or taunts him with a couple of times? Like,
Yeah,
oh, be quiet. Like,
it's a constant taunt, yeah.
like, tall, brooding, or what? Like, I don't know exactly what she says, but it's something along the lines of
Yeah,
Mr. Tall, Dark, and Scary.
Yeah,
Essentially.
basically. I'm not. I appreciate you coming over and introducing yourself, but now would be the time to get lost. Ichigo couldn't believe the words that came out of his mouth. As soon as his mission of destroying the hollows was complete, he had no intention of staying longer, and because of that, he didn't want to grow attached to anyone around. What kind of Ichigo is this? Focusing his attention back on Kurumu, he almost instantly regretted his words. The hurt in her eyes was evident, and he knew he had to do something about it. Wait, that's not what Get lost?
Oh, okay. Hold up.
That's not what I meant to
Hold up
say.
for a second. Now's the time for you to get lost. No, that came out meaner than I meant it to. What are you smoking?
Feeling he had no choice to go up after her, you're taking this the wrong way. He froze, turns around, hands on her breast, instantly removed them. Oh, haha,
Of course there's a boob
gag.
touch.
I meant to say it was waswahaswa, being kicked in the nuts. What the hell was that for? You're a jerk and a pervert. Slapped him. From now on, keep your eyes off me. I saw the way you were looking at me in class. I'll cut your eyes out. You got the wrong idea. Why does this stuff happen to me all the time? Stop. What fucking anime did you watch?
That doesn't happen to him ever. In fact, they did a remarkably good job of not making that joke.
Yeah.
Like, it happened maybe twice with Odahime in the entire series?
No.
I don't think that happened at all.
No, it didn't, though.
No, you're right. It certainly never happened with Rukia. They were too busy making no poop jokes with Rukia.
That is true. And making fun of her ability at drawing.
Yes, which was abysmal. Anyway, maybe there were, like, boob jokes with Rangiku, but that was about her shoving people's faces into them. Or her being drunk and doing that.
Okay, so review. Horribly OOC. Not horribly OOC. OOC.
Horribly
Ichigo.
disjointed. Let's go with horribly disjointed.
Do you mean OOC, out of character? Not
Yeah.
original character?
I said OOC.
I only heard the one for some reason.
Yeah.
You know what?
Ignore most of what I say.
We are an hour and 40 minutes into this stream. I vote we call it here. We don't have time.
Hour and 40 minutes? What the fuck are you smoking?
It's 8:40, Sneaky.
We're an hour and 20 minutes into the stream.
Right, we started slightly late. Never mind. Carry on.
Can we move on to Queen?
Yes, we
now?
are. I'm leaving the review. Horribly disjointed and stilted sentences and dialogue. That's not how you use the re prefix. or Japanese honorifics. It is clear you didn't put a single fucking bit of effort into anything when it comes to Bleach or Japan.
Yeah, I'd probably just put that as Rosario Empire, not just Japan as a whole.
Well, Japanese honorifics was part of that.
Yeah.
Alright.
Also, complete failure to understand the Japanese school system.
I think most people can be forgiven for that. It's
That is fair enough.
it's odd. Like, the only reason
Okay,
I know so much is because
but
of Persona 4 or 5 and the Slice of Life novels I
okay,
read
but
occasionally.
here's my response to that, Max. If you're gonna write about it, it is incumbent upon the author
Yeah.
to obtain at least passing knowledge.
Yeah. Like that would be like that would be like every fucking military involved fiction I've ever read on this fucking website, aside from like one or two, where they're like, "Oh, the military stormed in and shot everyone with their assault rifles."
Wait, no, Sneaky, wasn't there a fan fiction you and I stumbled on that said, I don't know anything about the military, so I'm just making shit up as I go
Yeah.
anyway?
Yes, there was
That
in fact a fan
Yeah.
fiction we
infuriated us.
found that was like, yeah, I'm going to be using the military as the main focus of this fan fiction, but I don't know anything about the military, so I'm just going to make it all up.
Shit. But Grammarly, how did you not catch the missing apostrophe?
It did.
Did it?
Yeah, it did.
God, how far back is the stream from me then?
Yeah, I mean, it's only 5-second delay as we found out.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
yeah. Anything else? Honorifics, re-prefix, stilted dialogue, stilted sentences,
Didn't
OC
put any
characters.
effort. I'm not really sure. Also, I gotta say, like, that also seemed a bit out of character for Kuruma, now that I really think
Yeah,
about
no, it
it.
was.
She's a succubus, and up until the end of season 2, where the manga continues afterwards, it still wouldn't bother her that much.
Yep. Alright, so deleted. Moving on to the Queen of Remnant. I'm going to drop this into the chat so everyone can follow along if they want to.
This will be the final story of the night because
It will be the
we have
final
all
story of the
lost
night.
our patience.
Let's just hope this doesn't get worse.
Tasty, tasty.
It doesn't even have to get better, it just can't get worse.
That's all we're asking for. Maintain your current level of quality, author. Please.
Maybe with a little less
As
plebeian.
a reminder to everyone who may or may not have been here for previous streams, the Queen of Remnant was a story in which Atlas has a bit of a different Weiss living in it. This Weiss is basically fucking Gilgamesh, and I mean basically fucking Gilgamesh, not in the sexual way, but in the personification way. She's wearing silver armor of Gilgamesh's normal look. She can summon shit like Gilgamesh, except she's got her rune thing going on during the summoning, ice-based themes, etc. Oh, and apparently Ozpin's a seraphim.
Oh. I'm gonna have to track this down now.
As Weiss stood at the cliff, waiting for the old seraphim to finish his stupid speech, she thought about what to do. Initiation was simple. Get to the north side of the cliff, find a chess piece, return to the cliff with said chess piece, and get a partner along the way. If only it didn't require immediate eye contact with the first person you see. Ah, well. It wasn't like it would matter anyways, as long as they didn't slow her down at all. Some of the people around her seemed to be a bit distracted by her armor. Perhaps it was how blindingly divine and godly it was. Or maybe it was the brilliant silver sheen. Regardless, Weiss crossed her arms as the platform underneath her readied itself to propel her into the air. She looked at Ozpin before taking off. I expect a challenge, Seraph. That is an order, and you should know better than to disobey your ruler. Glinda's eyes burned with a fury at her statement, whilst the headmaster simply bowed his head slightly. Good. I expect nothing more. Then she was launched into the air. So, we are still unknowing if Ozpin's just going along with it and encouraging it, or is actually everything Weiss says he is.
I'm. I don't even know what I hope this Osmond does. Just keep us guessing as to what's going on with this Osmond. I
Then
suppose.
she was launched into the air. Down below the
Okay,
forest.
so I have to go. I have to go take care of some stuff for my family because I'm the only one who's competent around this damn house. So
Indeed. We'll finish up with
I
this.
stayed for the vast majority of the stream, so you shouldn't need me.
You didn't get the good parts,
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just take it out on everyone around me.
though. Indeed. And you should know. Oh, wait a minute. Down below, the forest loomed, and with a lazy snap of the finger, a glyph formed underneath her feet. As she began to fall, the glyph began to shine even brighter and brighter until the queen herself was coated in a brilliant silver light, like a comet splitting the sky in half. Ah, the chariot of the moon, a vessel worthy of only a queen. So she fucking has Gilgamesh's vehicle too. Yup, only in Weiss colors. Good. The light dissipated and Weiss sat upon a machine quite unlike anything that the plebeians of the beacon had ever seen before, sleek and futuristic, with wings of red and a throne of silver fit only for a queen to sit on. Down below she could see the awestruck looks that several initiates were shooting her. Ha! Feast your unworthy eyes upon the magnificence that will never be matched by human hands, for this shall the first, last, and shall be the first, last, and only time you shall ever lay your eyes on a vehicle blessed by the gods. Her divine chariot came to a halt as one of those godless Grimm had the audacity to swoop after her, and nevermore. The disgusting mockery of a bird continued to chase after her, its bony beak inching closer and closer to the back end of her chariot. Weiss rested her head on her arm. In a storm of black feathers, the nevermore was once again upon her. Leave me, you wretched bird, unless you truly have a wish to meet your devilish maker. The Grim squawked at her. In response, Weiss opened up several glyphs. I think she meant to say open up with several glyphs.
Hmm.
If that is indeed your wish truly, then I, Weishni, Princess of Atlas, future queen of all remnant, daughter of Kaiser Shni. Okay.
All
I
right.
forgot. Is that actually his name?
His name is Jacques. I'm pretty sure this was made long before we got Volume 4, though.
Uh.
We did not know his name until Volume 4. This was made October 20. No,
July
July.
23, 2016.
I think he literally published this the week after episode 1, then.
Mm.
It was like 2 episodes
I
early.
mean, Kaiser, that's a fair enough name for the man.
No, that name's way too cool for that dickhead.
I mean, yeah, he's a dick, but the meaning of the name.
The episodes. Thank you, Wikipedia. Volume 4. No, he missed it by a few months. That's right. It started in October.
Mm.
Yeah. So, oh God, please tell me he didn't stop updating because we got Volume 4.
I think he did. What
Oh,
was
I
the
hate
first
when that
episode?
happens. Episode 1 was just starting in the main baddie's
When
domain.
was the first episode?
Uh, October 22nd. Oh no.
Yes. So yeah, October 13th, the last update. Yup, he stopped because Chapter 4 came out.
No.
To be fair, to be fair, it is understandable that when you write a story and then the canon updates and invalidates the background you gave your story. It's fair enough to be like, well, I don't want to continue.
Wait. Oh, uh, Sneaky.
Yeah.
I now know why this author's stuff looks so familiar.
Oh.
This is the same author that gave us Matters of Family.
Matters of family?
Um, the Naruto thing where he has 10 siblings, and Naruto and Menma are directly referenced as his siblings as well.
Oh yes, they're all in a war or something.
Yeah, the one where you and Nat were commenting that it felt like borderline incest between Naruto and Naruto.
Yes, yes.
This is the same author.
Fucking hell, man.
Uh,
He should stick to fucking parodies. Jesus.
oh.
Several weapons, swords, spears, and axes, and the occasional arrow rocketed towards the Nevermore, coated in a divine silver light. The Nevermore strafed and flew around as best as its pathetic excuse for wings would allow it to. Weiss snapped her fingers, and even more weapons began to fly towards the Nevermore. Nevermore is technically supposed to be capitalized.
Yes.
Technically.
It is technically the title of that particular grim, so
Her weapons tore through the grim like butter, its bony armor doing little to stop them. Finally, after a near endless barrage, the Nevermore fled. Countless inky black feathers rained upon the forest as it did. Weiss watched as the Grim disappeared behind a cliff at the north end of the forest. Shouldn't have it died if it was cut through like butter?
yeah. Also, I'm getting tired of people using the phrase like near endless and near limitless because that's an oxymoron.
Okay,
It's
near
not possible.
endless and near limitless can only be used in very few situations. One of those situations is unlimited blade works at full blast. Another one of those situations is Toho. Just Toho in general.
Yeah, I will eventually get around to playing those games if I can ever sum up the courage to go through one of
Toho
the
put bullet
best known
hell.
bullet hells.
Put Toho put the hell into bullet hell.
Uh, it also has a couple of fighting game spin-offs, surprisingly.
Really, that's cool.
Yeah,
I've
people
read
like
some.
them.
I've read. I don't. I have never touched Toho. I've never read Toho, but I've seen some excellent crossovers with it.
What is the original bullet hell?
What is the original bullet hell? That's a good question. Anyway, uh, fled. Perhaps it is time to find a partner, if only it amuses me. Her chariot of the moon vanished in a silver blue cloud of dust. Weiss stood in the center of the clearing, dusting off her armor. Holding her hand out, Weiss summoned. I never figured out how to pronounce this. Myrtenester?
Murdernaster?
Myrtenaster?
Murdernaster.
A blade forged especially for her, a weapon fit only for a queen, though of course it was the only blade she was willing to use, for there was no one worthy enough to use the sword of Cataclysm. Oh! Okay, so that's basically Ea. Got it!
No, no, oh god, they took that rapier and turned it into Weiss's version of Ia. Oh,
No
I
one
don't know how
would
to feel
ever
about
be.
that. I really don't know how to feel about that.
Is Marunaster an actual weapon of mythology? Um,
Probably.
doesn't look like it.
Uh, Hang on, I'm gonna go look at the Ruby wiki because the Ruby wiki is insane and inevitably ends up tracking down what they believe to be the most likely version or reason for the name. Trivia, according to
The closest we get to a sword of cataclysm is the sword of Demacules.
yeah, that makes sense. The original sort of cataclysm. Thank you, Greece. German family flowers typically found to be white.
So her her sword's literally called White Flower.
I guess it would roughly translate to that, yeah. The
Damn it.
Merten aster is German for a family of flowers known as myrtle that are typically found to be white but can come in a variety of other colors. That actually explains the use of dust in it then.
Yep.
Wow. Damn it, Juan. Being so clever.
Jesus fucking Christ, boy.
I'm I am so sad we're not going to get to see all the other stuff that Monty had in store.
I'm so sad that we're never gonna get to see the real seasons 2 through 8.
3 through 8.
Yes, 3 through 8.
We lost him halfway through development of season 3.
Because I mean, like, yeah. On one hand, sure, he can leave his notes, but only unless he wrote down literally every thought going through his head. There,
No, I'm pretty sure all he gave them was a basic outline,
yeah.
and it going through season 3 because I was one of the many number of fans aware of Monty's passing. I could see the scenes that Monty had a personal hand in versus the scenes he didn't.
Mhm. Mhm.
The fight scenes are always the most notable because Monty had this odd knack for capturing fluidity and motion. Not just
Mhm.
fighting, but how everything seamlessly just
Moved.
flowed
Yeah.
into the next. Like if he had been a 2D animator, I have no doubt he'd be working with Trigger or Gainax.
Mhm.
And watching the fight scenes under someone else, you can see they're doing their best, but it's missing that fluidity that Monty had.
Mhm.
It
Mhm.
feel Initially it felt clunky. We got volume 4 and there was a clear improvement,
Yeah.
but it was still very
Well, I mean,
like
they're
stop
they're
and go.
obviously using Chibi as a way to improve their skill.
Well, that or they're using Chibi to cash in with cute little makes, and at this point, I'm liking Chibi a lot more than anything else. Like this past episode was adorable.
That was pretty
Great.
adorable.
No, I'm talking about episode 3. I
Oh,
haven't. I We'll talk about that off stream.
indeed.
Yeah. Nothing illegal going on here.
Moving on. Kaiser Shinee descended from the daughters of the old kingdom of Apollon, precursor to all kingdoms. So yeah, they're setting it up to be the pretty much Gilgamesh but girl. Got it. So just they're just going
Yeah.
full 100% with it.
Kingdom
Weiss looked behind her.
Apple.
Someone was in the bushes, raising Myrnaster. The queen began to walk towards the noise, and Weiss saw a flash of red, pure Nikos, of the plebeian Ruby. Perhaps the Nikos would hold me back last, though Ruby may turn out to be far more amusing. A smirk appeared on her face. Yes, it would be fun to see what stupid shenanigans a wannabe hero like her can get into. That is in line with Gilgamesh, that is true.
Uh,
I would say
I want to say
I would say
I want
amusing instead of
to.
fun, but yeah.
Yeah, I would say be nice to Ruby, but I'm not gonna lie. This. Oh, I want to see this animated now.
I want to see this
uh,
animated by Type Moon.
Hey,
I,
yo,
I want to see Type Moon's hand at animating Ruby battles.
Miles and Carrie, if bums ever get around to seeing our shit, start making a Fate Stay Night crossover where everyone's personalities are swapped around with certain servants.
I mean, we've already seen some amazing fan art for that.
Yeah, we have. And I think it would only get better, although Yang would have to be someone other than Iskander, because I'm pretty sure their personalities are already too similar, aside from Yang's love of puns.
Indeed. Stumbling out of the bush, Ruby fell to her knees. She shrunk back as she noticed Weiss's gaze upon her. You're again with the apostrophe. Yes, it's just a single apostrophe, mate.
I don't I think for names it's this weird middle ground that authors can't seem to agree on. Some
I
frown
mean,
on
I
it,
was
some
taught in
don't
English
care.
class that even if a person's name has an S in it at the end, it's still just apostrophe. That was the way I was taught in English.
All right, Google, I need you to help me out here. Can't
Yes,
wait to get
now
like 10
come.
articles all
There
arguing.
is no wasting. What? I will not be last. A queen is never last. As my partner, I will not allow you to hold me back. Ruby blinked. What are you saying? From here on, you shall be my champion. And as my champion, you will become the best, because the Queen of Remnant deserves only the best, and nothing else but the best. Now come, you don't want to be the last one to get your piece, do you? Ruby continued to look like a deer in the headlights. Perhaps it was because Weiss was giving the poor girl a chance as opposed to antagonizing her. Regardless, Weiss would not be waiting for her. Wait, where are you going? North is that way. Ruby pointed to the left. Weiss rolled her eyes. Ruby, that way is blocked off by a river that is at least a kilometer or so wide, and I don't think either of us can traverse that.
Damn it. Sneaky, you know about grammarbook.com, right?
Sure.
Pretty good about
Yeah.
explaining basic rules of grammar.
Yeah.
Even they say that writers can't agree on proper noun names ending in S with possessive. God, English, we need to have a long talk one day. The more we learn on this stream, Sneaky, I'm worried that we're learning more as writers from reading bad fan fictions than actually writing.
That's typically how it is.
Anyways, continuing on with the fairly amusing story.
Why don't you just use the vehicle you used earlier? Weiss laughed. Do you think you're worthy enough to ride on my chariot? Well, I do suppose that now you are my champion, you could be. But no, I won't. It would attract attention. Unnecessary attention. No, I have a better plan and a quicker one as well. If we continue to go east, we will come upon an old, ruined, yet still serviceable bridge that crosses the river. Then, if we follow the path north, we should come upon the ruins of an ancient temple at the base of that mountain. Do you understand?
Uh,
Weiss asked, her finger pointing at the looming mountain. Can I ask a question? How do you know this? The things you can see with the view that only a winged creatures and bullheads can see, my dear Ruby, that is the answer. Missing comma.
God,
When you can see all of the land from above, it is then, and only then, do you truly realize that you truly are nothing compared to the vastness that is the world of Remnant. Now come, your queen commands it. Ruby was surprisingly quiet, Weiss thought to herself. Certainly not what she expected out of someone with silver eyes. Those were eyes of which she had only seen in books and heard of in tales from her father. So, there it is. Weiss, what, combat school did you go to before Beacon? Ruby asked, wiping the sweat from her forehead as her scythe transformed back into gun form. I didn't need to. Eh? Yes, that is right, Weiss reiterated, looking over her shoulder. As the heir to the most powerful family in Remnant, it would have been useless to waste all my talent in a combat school. No, instead, father hired only the best to tutor me. The best marksmen, swordsmen, artists, musicians, writers, healers, philosophers, scientists, inventors, politicians, businessmen, technicians, and martial artists. Only the best and nothing but the best. That, from the moment I was born, was how it was decided to be. Whoa, that must have been so hard. Hmm, for a lesser being, that is. Weiss thrust my Nestor into the neck of a grim mockery of a wolf. But as the future queen of Remnant, ruler to be, it was only fitting. I did not shrink from the challenge. I rose above it all. Every day I awoke before the sun had risen. Every day I was groomed to be the perfect being, one with a mind that will never break, a body that shall never falter, and a will that shall not be matched. But didn't you want to be anything else? It's like it was decided that you would be the queen from the moment you were born, Ruby said, swinging her scythe around, warding off a pack of Beowulfs. Because it was decided from the moment of my birth. My sister was born with a weak heart. The doctors had said she would not live to see her 21st birthday. So it was decided by my father that his crown would be passed on to whoever was next, even another daughter. Weiss sheathed my Nestor with a flourish. Though my sister has proved those doctors wrong, to this day she strives strong. But do not think I do this because it is my duty. Then why? Ruby flinched as Weiss turned to look her in the eye. Because the Schnee family has long since fallen to remnant. The words they say about my family anger me so. Our views on fairness, our cutthroat policies, the degrading and condescending talk that I constantly have to hear from the hungry wolves called the media. I will have it no longer. From the moment I was born and long since before, the Schnee Schnees have been seen as growing weak, as a problem, a cancer on the world. They say if it were not for my father, then the White Fang would have never turned to terrorism. A lie. They say that Atlas's increased military aggression is our fault. Another lie. That soon our supply of dust will disappear at the rate at which they are mined at. Again, they lie using so-called evidence that has no basis in logic. Idiots. All of them. When I am queen, there'll be no such talk. Okay. Gonna pull up the non-renewable resource argument here. The resources are non-renewable. As we don't know how dust is created in the mines, only that underneath the earth, dust forms.
We're not even sure about that. All we know is humans just kind of stumbled upon it one day.
No.
Figured out how to weaponize it.
So,
As for
it's a limited resource as far as we know. And so I'm
yeah,
gonna treat it like the oil debate. If we have to decrease our oil mining, or else we're gonna run out of oil. We're gonna run out of oil anyway. You're gonna run out of dust, regardless of the speed you mine it at. If the demand for it is ever increasing due to everyone being retarded and not looking for non-dust alternatives to their devices, like fucking, from what I've seen in Ruby, everything from the fucking toaster to the refrigerator to your fucking phone runs on dust in some form or fashion. Whether it's a circuit board or some sort of cooling or something's being circumvented by the use of dust rather than using coils or radiators, etc.
yeah, basically. The military aggression thing, that's not actually the Schnee's fault. That would actually be placed more like on Ironwood's shoulders than anything else, because
Yeah.
the man is very paranoid. As for the whole White Fang thing, I would argue that there's a good chance it's because of the Schnee Company's policy on fairness from what we've learned from the show, that, yeah, you guys are probably a very big contributing factor.
Well, with on the
But
topic of that
this
specifically, I would
from the
say,
show, though.
yeah,
This is from the show. We don't know what it is here.
I would say, even going by the show, I would say there is a certain section of people in the world in general that have tendency to become extremist. And the reason why it's a common trope is because it's a thing that some of those extremist people tend to be extremely charismatic leaders. And the people that normally wouldn't be extremists, in this example, the White Fang, they're not extremists, they're not extremists, they're not extremists. Years pass, new leader comes out. He is fucking extremist as hell, but he's also a charismatic motherfucker. And whether it's through intimidation, charm, or just speaking ability or oration. And
Actually,
he turns the whole group
originally.
extremist. Of course, you're gonna have certain small sections of the group that's like, no, I refuse. I'm gonna stay peaceful, and they'll leave the group as a whole, but still continue their path. But it only takes one extremist to turn a peaceful group extremist.
Who the fuck is the leader? Everybody gets getting
I mean, I know fans love to prop up Adam as the
Okay.
leader.
So we do have the leader's name. We haven't actually met the leader. We also have seen the previous leader of the White Fang, the one who managed to make some headway through peaceful means, and then stepped back and took over Menagerie, and governing over there. Adam himself
Isn't
is
that
not a
Weiss's
leader.
dad?
No. Blake's dad, Gira Belladonna.
Sorry, yeah, no, my brain was just. I meant to say
Yeah.
Blake. I said Weiss because we're talking about Weiss.
Yeah, no, the leader has been named as Sienna Khan. So the fact that their last name is Khan should already tell you all you need to know about the person from a
Yeah.
from an Earth perspective.
Yeah.
So great, great. Adam himself, though, is just a really high-ranking member, and he is far from being charismatic.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying though. Is I wasn't calling
I
Adam the charismatic one.
why they that like he's never actually even called the leader of the White Fang. We just know he's very.
I
We've
think
known
it's
since the
because he's the
start he's
highest
high up.
ranked member that is displayed in the show that fans are just like, oh, he's the leader when they're writing fan fiction. So they don't need to come up with someone who's higher ranked than Adam.
Don't mention it. Just be like, I don't know, make him the right-hand man or something. Like, he's one of a handful of people that directly report to the leader. Don't make him the leader. Fucking Christ, people. Not much basis for it aside from he's high up there. That's it.
Yeah, but anyway, my statement on extremist still stands. I mean, there's a reason why it's a trope.
Well, stereotypes are usually anchored in reality.
Anyway, moving on. That can't
Yes.
be the only reason, is it? Perhaps not. I don't know. What I do know is that there is nothing in this world that can stand in my way. Grim, Faunus, the media, or anything else. But alas, I am not perfect. Not yet. Soon, I shall be. A silence settled upon the queen and her soon-to-be champion as they reached a run-down stone bridge. Vines worked its way through the cracks, and a giant tree root had begun to grow into the bridge itself. At the far end of the path, Weiss could see the top of a pillar. It was of the same stone of the bridge. All over the stone were runic markings of an age lost to time. The markings were so faded that Weiss could barely see what they were supposed to be. Gunfire could be heard throughout the entire forest, but it was only when Weiss and Ruby got close to the ruined temple did the sound grow louder and louder. Weiss sharply turned her head as a King Taijitu
Tai Chi 2, I think.
came roaring out of the forest. Before it could take in another step, several swords and spears blasted into its legs. Isn't that the snake?
Um. Hmm. Why is the snake suddenly growing legs? Like, it is a snake, yes, but what? It's a snake. It's not a lizard.
Yeah,
It's a snake.
it's pretty solidly a snake. A tentacle grim. Of course, in a manga. Of course, the manga has tentacle grim.
Yeah. Manga's pretty
Merges
okay, though.
merges 4 king taijutsu into one large 8-headed hydra.
Yeah, because that's fair.
Huh. Anyway, so yeah, it's a fucking snake. So not sure what legs are being pierced with this thing. Go on ahead. Ruby nodded and dashed off in a swirl of petals. Rice. Weiss raised her hand and a giant double-headed axe came spiraling through a glyph. Instead of embedding itself into the monster, the axe split the entire thing in two. Okay.
All right.
Weiss continued on to the temple. Waiting at the temple was Ruby, her sister, and the girl with the black bow. All three of them turned to look at Weiss. Immediately, Ruby's sister was upon her, lilac eyes burning red, her hair swaying in the wind violently. I've never seen something sway violently. Because it's kind of an oxymoron, because swaying kind of implies like a gentle drift back and forth, you know?
Yeah. Hey. Hey, dictionary. What do you have to say about this? Find sway. Move or cause to move slowly or rhythmically, backward and forward, or from side to side.
Yeah.
Rhythmical movement from side to side. Rule, control.
I,
What
I,
else?
I would say,
No, no,
instead of sway, I would say more like ruffle, flutter in the wind. I mean, I could see a more violent flutter than I can see a violent sway, you know?
yeah, no, I know where you're coming from. Hmm.
What the hell is this about my sister being your champion, huh? Missing commas. The girl moved, put a grip on Weiss. Before she could even move another step, Weiss kicked her away. You shall not lay your filthy hands on me, worm. And to answer your question, your sister is now the sworn champion of her queen. When did the swearing take place? To serve and
Uh,
protect and to defend my honor should it ever be questioned by those unworthy to question it. She shall be the figurehead of my conquest, and she shall be the mightiest warrior the world has ever known, for it is only fitting for my champion to be so. It is the greatest honor that a mere plebeian, and even one born from blood of nobility, can have. Weiss strode around the blonde worm. At the ruined altar at the center of the temple were chess pieces, both black and white. She would have picked up the only piece that was truly worthy of a queen, the king, of course, the most important piece. But as it turned out, there were no kings left, so she settled on the next best one, the knight. Um, see that brings up a fair point. They were like the last group to get there. Because there was only 8 pieces left. Right?
Uh, fuck. Where'd my Ruby tab go? No, it's the playlist you linked. Players and pieces. This have the shot I'm looking for. Nope, not there. Not there. Okay, hang on. I'm having to skim through pieces of episodes. Okay, here we go. Let's see. 16, 30. There's about 32 pieces there, or at least 32 stands. Um, see, we could probably assume the pawns aren't there. Uh, wait, why are there so many pieces? Including the pawns, there would be 6 unique pieces, wouldn't there? King, queen,
Yeah.
bishop, rook, knight, pawn. That's 6. Damn. Looks like my theory that would there'd probably only be 6 teams total was true then. A lot of extra pieces that shouldn't exist there then. So I don't know if they were one of the first or one of the last.
Hmm. Interesting. Alright. Well, anyway. Standing not too far off, with the black knight piece already in their hands, was another group of oh, wait. That's because each person had a piece, apparently. Maybe. Is it possible?
No, each
Pair?
pair grabs a
Okay.
piece, and from what I could see, if 2 pairs had opposing pieces, white knight with black knight,
Yeah.
you're a team.
Yeah.
So, some measure of randomness as well as some measure of planning things out.
Hmm. They seem to be heading back to the cliff already. That simply would not do. The queen could not be last, for that would be a lie. The queen was not last. However, Weiss stopped in her tracks at the sight of the emblem on the jacket of one of their members. 2 handguns crossed. The sigil of the Grunbeld family, the largest weapons manufacturers in the Four Kingdoms. Weiss narrowed her eyes. What was the Scion of the Grunbeld family
Scion.
doing here? And more importantly, why did the ashen-haired boy next to the girl with the sigil look so familiar? Ashen-haired? Is she talking about Ren?
I don't think so.
I
I
guess we'll.
think this might be a completely unique team of the author's creation.
Mm. Behind her, the whole rabble of morons that came crawling in began to make a mess, and the giant Nevermore that had intercepted her earlier returned. And it was most certainly not happy. In the place of its right eye was a pincushion of swords, spears, and axes, and one of its wings had been clipped short. Everyone in the area froze as the giant mockery of a bird swooped down upon them. Weiss quickly warded it off with a barrage of weapons. That seems kind of like a waste of weapons, don't you think? The queen looked at her and smiled as the girl's eyes widened when the weapons vanished into her glyphs. Come, we need to get to higher ground. Weiss pointed to a tower not too far off. Without waiting for the others, Weiss began to make her way to the tower. Behind her, the other group of fools, along with Nikos and that fool Ark, were fighting off a King Taijutu. She thought about finishing it off for them so they could take out the Nevermore, but Weiss decided not to. They needed their single moment of glory. That much Weiss could give them. Watch out! Ruby yelled as the Nevermore came back around. Weiss summoned several glyphs in front of it, causing the flying Grim to bounce off. She then fired off a spear with an extra-large spearhead at the Nevermore's larger wing. Ruby and her sister, along with the girl in black, were firing their weapons. Come on! Weiss launched herself up to the top of the tower with the help of a glyph. Guh! Weiss exclaimed as the monster bird crashed into the side of the cliff in an attempt to hit her. The Queen fired off a barrage of dust-enhanced weapons. The entire cliffside was lit up with explosions. Out of the smoke, the Nevermore came rocketing out. The tips of its wings and tail were lit up in flames. This is a very tough Nevermore. Holy shit.
Well, honestly, I'm pretty sure the Nevermore in the show probably should have kicked those kids' asses.
Fair enough. Alright.
Um, it did nearly cost them their lives. And I'm pretty sure they had to sign a waiver because Osmond said, "You probably will die out here." So they were warned.
Fair enough. Ha! You're rather fast for a pretty girl, the blonde commented, reloading her shotgun gauntlets. Now let's give it everything we've got. Weiss rolled her eyes and summoned enough glyphs to filled with weapons to cover the entire side of the cliff. Whoa, Ruby muttered, a dazed look on her face. Enough dilly-dallying. Fire! Weiss's projectiles lit up the sky, each and every sword, spear, axe, halberd, scythe, mace, and dagger following the Nevermore like a homing missile. Wait, do I not? I believe they're saying not have, but do I not missiles in my arsenal after all? She shook her head. There was no time to be thinking of such trivial things. That was so much trivial thing. That's missiles
Well,
are
the-
decidedly more effective at
uh,
killing things than swords.
theoretically, Gilgamesh probably had missiles in there because ancient technology.
I'm pretty
Oh
sure
God.
"fuck you, I have a nuke" is an applicable thing that Gilgamesh could do.
Yeah, granted, would he want to do it? Because that's not exactly a treasure he can just rebuild. Like, I'm pretty sure the biggest reason he sticks to just the weapons is because he can get them back. They aren't like one and done, and
Um,
he seems very attached to his
when
treasures.
he summons things from his Gate of Babylon, are they summoned or are they copied summoned?
No, they're summoned. The reason that he's able to keep shooting them out repeatedly is because one of the phantasms he holds picks everything up that shoots out. He literally has a retrieval phantasm that picks everything back up, so he can actually just keep recycling the wave. The only way
Okay.
to really stop him is to find a way to either stop that phantasm or make it so it can't retrieve the others with your own pocket dimension.
Mhm.
Boy, I sure do love the wiki. By the way, I think that's just his Fate Zero and Fate Stay Night incarnation. That's not even getting into what the spin-off Gilgameshes can do.
CCC and extra. Yeah, no, he's significantly stronger in both of those.
Like, fucking, he's overpowered. He knows it, and he holds back because he wants to be amused. He wants some fun.
No, not even he holds back because he wants to be amusing. He holds back because he finds it amusing to watch them struggle as they're slowly overwhelmed.
Can The more I look at the wiki to learn about the different characters and the abilities and all, the more I'm like, maybe I should sit down and binge watch Zero into Stay Night into Unlimited Blade Works.
Um, yeah.
Because they're like I might be able to get past that initial hump of, oh God, why is Japan so obsessed with black magic as a plot device?
Black magic. Robots in disguise.
Oh God. And Megatron has discovered black magic. Well, we're all fucked.
Um, guys, Bow Girl began. Bow Girl?
Blake, I
Oh, Blake. Yeah, I was like,
can't.
are they talking about weapon bow or wearing a bow on their
No.
head?
pretty sure we're talking about Blake. Which, by the way, I would think the queen would be able to notice that it's a faunus
You would think.
and would refer to her as the faunus who was silly enough to think she could hide her ears in a
Yeah,
bow.
exactly.
A bow that, when you go back and look through Volume 1, actually, yes, it does move from time to time
Oh yeah.
on its own.
Mm-hmm.
Very subtle.
Oh, Monty. I think it's getting closer. Everyone began to panic as the Nevermore began to dive towards them, increasing in speed. Weiss created a giant glyph just as the Nevermore got within distance and deflected the giant Grim away. With an exasperated sigh, Weiss raised my Master and pointed it at the bow girl. You! That ribbon. Oh, so we're just getting rid of this right now?
Actually,
Oh,
no.
okay.
Oh, I don't think I'm pretty sure that ribbon is not attached. I don't think her weapon has the ribbon wrapped around it. The ribbon itself, I think, is wrapped around her wrist,
How long and strong
but
is
I'm
it?
not sure.
The girl looked down at the ribbon connect. I thought they were gonna take the bow off of Blake's head and use it as some sort of device. I was like, oh, we're skipping that whole arc.
Uh, th- that is still an arc. If that remains an arc, and the supposed queen is fooled by a simple bow, this Weiss no longer deserves the title.
Indeed. How long and strong is it? The girl looked down. From what Weiss could tell, it was a pistol and a katana with a ribbon wrapped around it. Never mind. According to my estimations, it should be long enough. Now, do you see the two largest pillars down there in the ruin? Ruby, I want you and Bowgirl to get down there. Then I want you to wrap the ribbon around the two pillars. Then I'm using it like a slingshot to launch Ruby at the Nevermore. While we do that, your sister and I will keep this pathetic excuse for a bird at bay. Any questions or objections? No one said a thing. Good. Now, let's move. It's coming back for another round. Weiss fired off a trident at the beast, shearing the larger wing and cutting it down to match the other's smaller wing. Normally, the extended use of one's semblance was very dangerous, but for Weiss, she hadn't begun to use even half of her aura. May I have your name? Weiss asked Ruby's sister.
I'm sorry, hang on. Its wings are cut.
Yeah. They clipped wings, yeah.
How?
Technically speaking, it also shouldn't be that size and still be able to fly, but fuck you.
Have a drink of water, Nor, and we'll move on with the story.
Indeed. It's Yang! She called back, leaping onto the back of the Nevermore whilst firing shell after shell. Weiss sidestepped a swipe of the wing and fired 4 swords into the torso of the Grim. Her lips curled up into a snarl as the swords disappeared into the body. Ruby and Bowgirl seemed to be having trouble wrapping the bow around the pillars. Yang, go and help them. I shall keep this Nevermore at bay. Yang nodded and flipped off the giant bird. Weiss then turned her attention to the Nevermore that had eaten her precious weapons. Oh,
No, it didn't eat that. You shot them too hard into its stomach. This is
oh.
your fault.
Are all these weapons things she's made? Are we actually going full Gate of Babylon and just saying everything she summons isn't like some sort of aura construction?
I think it's a proper Gate of Babylon. I think I think that's what it is. Great. So proper treasure vault with the glyphs still included.
As her signature instead of a swirl, I guess. You dare take my treasures? She summoned enough glyphs to create a dome around the bird. She fired. Each and every one of those weapons were imbued with explosive dust. As the explosions shook the tower, Rice looked down at Ruby and Bowgirl. Ruby looked up and gave her a thumbs up. Weiss then used her glyphs and froze the Nevermore's tail to the ground with the help of ice dust. I, Weiss Schnee, Princess of Atlas and future Queen of Remnant, daughter of Kaiser Schnee, Schnee, Harris to the Schnee Dust Company, blood of the sons and daughters of the old kingdom of Apollon, precursor to all kingdoms. Speaking of precursors, have you heard about the precursor civilization found in Europe that's older than Uruk?
No.
Yeah, apparently scientists just found evidence of a civilization that's older than Uruk.
Yay!
Good for you, humanity.
Fuck you, humanity. You were a mistake.
We're like cockroaches, only we can think for ourselves and create guns!
Can you make anything else? No, mostly just guns. What about that ship? That ship is just a really giant gun.
It's actually just a gun with rockets on it. How about those planes? Actually, we built the plane around a gun.
What is wrong with you humans? We like explosions. Fuck off.
AC-130 and the Warthog's existences are surely because we made big fucking guns. Said, man, this would be really useful if we could fire them from the sky. So we built planes around the guns. Oh. No, never change, humans. Never change. Anyway. Weiss summoned a glyph behind Ruby and launched her from the Bow Girl's ribbon. Ruby used the recoil of her scythe to increase her speed. A loud squawk echoed throughout the forest as Ruby dug her scythe blade into the neck of the Nevermore and began to run up the cliff. Seeing as how she wasn't going nearly as fast, Weiss boosted Ruby once more. The sky was filled with black feathers as Ruby decapitated the Nevermore. The girl's momentum was so great that she continued to fly into the sky until she landed at the top of the nearby cliffside. Ruby looked down at them and waved, petals swirling in the wind like sharks in a tornado. Nice reference. 10 out of 10. Weiss dropped down next to Yang and the girl in black. Well, Yang began. That was a thing. Weiss rolled her eyes. If she so wanted, she could have easily taken down the bird herself. But what self-respecting magician reveals all of their tricks at once? Soon afterward, back in the auditorium, the teams were being announced. Russell Thrush, Carden Winchester, Dove Bronzewing, and Skylark.
Dove.
Fuck off.
Just fixing it. That's all.
It can also be pronounced Dove, so fuck the shut up. The old seraphim rattled off 4 names. The 4 of you retrieved the Black Bishop pieces. From this day forward, you will work together as Team Cardinal, led by Carden Winchester. Weiss crossed her arms as everyone else began to clap. Just looking at Team Cardinal, she could tell they were all lowlifes who didn't even deserve to lick her boots even if they offered. How they got this far was beyond her. Oh well, it's not like they would matter at all in the grand scheme of things. Then the cavalcade of fools who fought the King Taijitu, while Weiss and the others killed the Nevermore, walked up to the stage. John Arc, Lyren, Pyranikos, Nor Valkyrie. So those were the names of the 2 other plebeians. The quiet one who wielded the guns with blades underneath them, and the overly energetic girl. Weiss uncrossed her arms. The four of you retrieved the white rook pieces. From this day forward, you will work together as Team Juniper.
Yep. By the way, it should be noted, I was actually incorrect when I said it's black and white pieces paired. It was a proper chessboard with two pieces for each color for some reason.
Waha.
Why, though? I don't understand.
So 12 teams then.
Possibly 12 teams. Fucking, this is one thing that pisses me off. If you're going to try and do world building, you need to do it right, which means we need to understand the average first year class size of incoming students.
That is true.
Like, Naruto did a slightly better job in that we at least understood how the teams were made up.
Such unprofessional conduct in front of the headmaster nonetheless. Do it later. Led by John Arc. What? The queen said to herself, her eye twitching. Him? That blonde fool? The leader? Over the girl called by others as invincible? Whatever drugs Ozpin was taking, Weiss wanted to know. Everyone laughed as Pyrrha playfully punched John in the shoulder, knocking him to the ground. Weiss only rolled her eyes. Ozpin coughed, cutting off the laughter. Not even try and pronounce any of those names. The four of you retrieve the Black Knight pieces. From this day forward, you'll be Team Grape. Grape rape, mate. Everyone clapped, everyone except for Weiss. Looking at Team Grape, she realized they were the team she had spotted earlier. Garrett Gold's abnormally large aura capacity, the cross handgun sigil on Priscilla's jacket, the long red spear and short gold spear on Amiko's back, and the Reinhardt Aggergentum. He was from
Argentum, I
Atlas as
think?
well. Argentum. That was why he felt so familiar to her. Of course, since she was the ruler of Atlas, she knew everyone who was of import by name. Everyone. The Argentum family was one of them. They were the largest providers of metals in Atlas, and one of the largest in the world. Their mansion also sat atop the largest silver mine in the Four Kingdoms, hence the name Argentum. Weiss had met and gone up against Ryan before, so how did she not recognize his very specific aura pattern? Weiss ground her teeth. Weiss was brought out of her stupor by Ruby, who tapped her queen on the shoulder. Ozpin was about to announce. And finally, Blake Belladonna, so that was Bowgirl's name. Blake. Weiss watched her intently. There was something about Blake that was off. She just couldn't figure out what it was. Well, other than
Alright, well, Weiss has officially lost her right to the throne. Time to give it to her snotty little brother.
well, other than the fact she was still standing after insulted her future queen. The headmaster continued. Ruby Rose, Weishni, and Yang Zhao Long. The four of you retrieved the White Knight pieces. From this day forward, you will be together as Team Ruby, led by Ruby Rose. Immediately, Weiss's eyes widened with disbelief. How could she, the future queen, not be the team leader? The Seraphim must have noticed. Come and see me later. That she would. How dare Ozpin disrespect her this way? That would be an insult that Weishni would never forget. Later on, as everyone began to socialize as a team, Weiss immediately made way for Beacon Tower. She would get her answers. Instead of using the elevator like a plebeian would, Weiss flew up to the tower's balcony where Headmaster Ozpin was waiting for her. I want answers, and I want them now, and I will not accept a vague, cryptic riddle. Speak now, or I'll turn you into a pincushion. Ozpin waved her off. There isn't much that this school will be able to teach you. The tutors your father hired for you are some of the best in the world, and some of them are at the very top of their respectable fields, or their respective fields. And I doubt the faculty here will be able to teach you anything that you haven't already learned. On the other hand, Ruby is raw. She has lots of potential. Some of that you've already seen, no doubt, but she is raw. All she knows is how to fight. You are much more than a fighter. Ruby will need all the help she can get, and who better to be at her side than the future queen? You have already made her into your champion, have you not? This way, you will not be bogged down by the responsibilities of being a leader, and you will have more time to train Ruby into the perfect champion of the Queen, able to lead your armies everywhere against anyone. Wow. Ozpin is either playing along
Or
or...
he's doing this for his own amusement.
Yeah. I mean, so many problems would be avoided early on if Weiss had gotten this angry and had confronted Ozpin like this as well, you know?
Yeah, probably.
What you say is true, but it seems to me that you're saying I can't handle the extra responsibilities of being the leader, as well as making sure that Ruby grows into the perfect champion, the perfect warrior. That is insulting. But I do suppose what you say makes sense. Weiss crossed her arms.
Which is it? Are you insulted or impressed?
Yes,
What the fuck?
she's insultingly impressed. Across her arms and the glyphs disappeared, but do not think for once that Ruby is the true leader of the team. She may be the face of the team, but I am the brains. Ozpin didn't respond and instead walked back into the tower. He sat down and sipped his coffee. Now that we have that out of the way, I would like to ask you some questions, Your Majesty. Go ahead, but do not call me something that I am yet not. There is time for that, and that time is not yet now. Now ask, I do not have all day to answer your meaningless queries. Why, summon a goblet of Atlesian white wine, fit only for a queen. Oh, good, so we're getting answers on the semblance. You know, I was
Huh.
always under the impression that the hereditary glyphs allowed the user to summon those that they have defeated as familiars, not summon an entire army's worth of weapons, or a flying chariot, or even half the things you've shown yourself capable of doing today. Ah, that's because my family's semblance has never ever seen its true potential. Summoning familiars was far too tame for me, too unimaginative, too without imagination or creativity. I sought to innovate, to do what my family has been afraid to do, to experiment, because one cannot become perfect by doing the same thing that has already been done. Weiss raised her hand and summoned an icy rat. As it turns out, everything we have seen, every inanimate object and every organic object, once dead, of course, is replicated within the realm within the glyphs. She then clenched her fist and shattered the rat. You cannot create something out of nothing. Familiars do not come out of nowhere. None of the Schnee before me have truly been able to understand that, because once they summoned the great angelic Grim Asmodeus, they assumed that this was as powerful as they would get, but that this was the extent of their power, and of course it was for them. And it seems you have yet to reach even a modicum of your true potential, if that is what you if what you say is true, Miss Schnee. No, I have not. If I do reach the potential that you speak of, then I will be the most powerful person to have ever existed. That was not a boast or a goal, it was a statement. If I am truly able to master my semblance, then there is nothing that will be able to stand in my way. Um, so it sounds a lot like not summoning. And like the way she's framing it, it's still the whole making something out of nothing style of summoning. So like she's seen the weapon before, so therefore she's able to summon it again and again.
Yeah.
The Chimera, Fenrir, the Orochi, Charbitis, Char, Char, Charbitis, fucking Greeks. Typhon, The so-called gods of Grimm, these so-called beings that hold the power that be, Grimm worshipped by men and women and then revered as gods, they will kneel at my feet and beg for mercy as I slaughter their children and wipe them from existence. If my power truly has no limit, then there is nothing that will stop me.
I'm sorry, I just gotta say, I love that the last three sentences for the things she was describing that could not stand in her way were just the same thing reiterated twice more.
Oh, what?
These so-called gods of Grimm, so-called beings that hold the power that be, Grimm worshipped by men and women and feared as God, basically just reiterated the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
That
is
for
she
the
doing
only
this
one,
because
there
she
will be
just
no
loves her
challenge, no
himself?
fun. You'll be the strongest there is. Ospin leaned back in his chair. Ever since you activated your semblance, nothing has been a challenge to you, has it? Everything you could defeat with your semblance. There was nothing you couldn't. And if you couldn't defeat it through battle, you would defeat it using the Schnee family wealth, reputation, and connections that have been built up through the millennia that your family has existed. Do you want that to continue? It matters not if everything was too easy. That is the duty of a queen. To govern her kingdom, to be the symbol of peace, to be its guardian against those which it cannot otherwise defeat. I will become more than just a queen. Nay, I will become more than a mere mortal. I will be a symbol, a myth, a legend that shall be passed down from generation to generation, a story that will be told to every man, woman, and child after my death, because while mortals can and do die, legends do not. The longer a legend has gone on, the harder it will be forgotten. My legend will be told from the moment of my death to the end of time itself. I will be a reminder to every insolent worm who wishes to do harm to the innocent and those of my kingdom that I will be watching them, and they will know that they are not welcome in my eternal hall, in my Elysium, in my Valhalla. And what do you believe this will accomplish? Weiss stood up and walked over to the window overlooking the campus. I want to become something that the people will try to achieve. I will be the paragon of perfection. I will be the one thing that everything should and will strive to become. In that way, mortal beings will always have someone to try and be better than. Now, any other questions, Seraph? Why do you believe it must be you? Does your father not have the same semblance? Your sister as well? Because no one else can and will. Weiss answered decisively. Farewell, headmaster. I will be coming now. If you have more questions for me, then feel free to call me whenever, and I shall make time to come and answer them. Weiss took one last look out over the campus. Her father had once told her every journey that has ever been taken started not with a single step, but with an idea. The queen already had her idea, and the first step had already been taken. So as you can all see, Weiss is not a Gilgamesh ripoff.
You know, saying something is inspired has always just struck me as a nice legal way of saying, yeah, we totally ripped it off, but we're not going to admit to that.
Yeah.
Like, I can, for example, I could have created a character in a thing and said he's inspired by this, but really all I did was rip him off. When you use the word inspired, what you're saying is that you like this character so much you want to make something similar to that character. It's fine to admit that, but when you deny it being a ripoff, it makes you sound, well, offensive.
See, the thing is, though, is you could get away with saying, oh, she's not a Gilgamesh ripoff. If she didn't fucking summon Gilgamesh's chariot but silver, if she didn't wear Gilgamesh's armor but silver, if she didn't think she was the queen of everything and act exactly like Gilgamesh does in terms of speech characteristics, and from as far as I know, from what I remember about his goals and whatnot early on in his original life, he did strive to become the paragon of humanity.
Hmm.
obviously in the Type Moon verse Gilgamesh, not since we don't really know much about the actual Gilgamesh.
Yeah.
But he Gilgamesh is an arrogant asshole, but he he has a natural optimism of humanity. I guess you could say. Like, yes, he believes everyone is lesser than him, but he has like this faith in humanity though, as a whole.
Yeah. And in his defense, at this point, not like anyone's been able to prove him,
Yeah,
definitively wrong.
it's not like anyone's been able to beat him in legitimate combat. So when you go around saying you're the king of heroes and you kick the shit out of literally everyone that tries to fight you.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, fun fact, for some reason, point of sale scan devices are included in the 3D printer section.
Okay.
I don't know why.
All right. So that ends the Electric Boogaloo of the Tuesday Electric Boogaloo of Fanfiction Theater 9001. We thank you all for joining us today. We hope you had as an enjoyable time with this story as we did. Um, we hope you had as terrible time with the story that we covered first. I hope you did because I despise you on a objective level.
Sneaky, stop poking at humanity.
Um, Join us once more for our regularly scheduled broadcast at 7 p.m. Eastern. Fridays and Tuesdays for more fanfiction theater, and check out our YouTube page because at some point we will start our anime contempt theater,
Yep.
in which we look at
Still,
anime with face cams.
yeah, still gonna leave the gameplay up though. I don't.
No, I mean there's no point in taking it down. There's,
No reason. Yeah.
no, I mean we
But
can always go
it's
back to gameplay at some point. It's just I feel like doing the anime theater will be easier for us.
yeah, probably. And I'm not gonna lie, it'd probably be easier than sitting down and trying to record gameplay for the games I was running. And yeah, that's oh fuck.
Anyway, good night everybody.